on baseball.
At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Baltimore Orioles. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Hospital for Special Surgery, the official hospital of the New York Mets. By Citi, proud partner of the New York Mets. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. And by Verizon, don't miss a moment of Mets baseball on the largest, most reliable 4G LTE network, only from Verizon. Well, he's become the largest folk hero in New York. The 5-game winner, Bartolo Colon, soon to be 42 years old. He got the victory last night, and the Mets found him some offense as well. Daniel Murphy and Kevin Plawecki contributing to that, and the Mets will go for a 2-game sweep of the Orioles tonight. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling with you tonight as the Mets and Orioles wrap up their 2-game series. Last night we got treated to the stylings of 2 terrific center fielders, Gold Glovers in Juan Lagares and Adam Jones. They really displayed their wares.
I'll tell you, one of the best parts of this job is occasionally seeing teams come in and you can see just great outfield play. Lagares, we get to see it all season long, and he seems to have a better catch every single night, but we don't get to see Adam Jones play very much, and last night he was unbelievable to right center and then to left center.
Adam Jones, 4-time Gold Glove winner in the American League. Juan Lagares, who has 1 under his belt. So you're a pitcher. Yeah. When you have defense like that behind you, does it change the way you go about your job?
Well, sometimes I think as a pitcher you take it for granted that you're not going to give up the hard hit ball, but these guys bail you out. Think of the catches last night. Lagares' catch was to start off an inning, so that's the big first out. He doesn't make that catch. There's a runner on second base. And Adam Jones, you can argue, with just his defense in the gaps, kept the Baltimore Orioles in that game to make it close late.
Well, tonight, Lagares will be playing in back of Jacob DeGrom, and really for the first time in his career, DeGrom is coming back 2 poor starts in a row.
What do I always talk about Jacob DeGrom? The maturity that he shows on the mound. His last time out was the first time that we saw him a little frustrated. I think the frustration has come from his lack of control on the bottom of the strike zone. That'll be certainly something he'll be working on today.
On the other side, one of the most mercurial pitchers in baseball. He can be great, he can be terrible depending on the year. Ubaldo Jimenez is off to a great start.
When he was with the Colorado Rockies, he had a period where he was 24-4. Since then, he's been a pitcher that's been under 500, but you're right. When he's on, and he's been on this year, he can hold opponents to only 10 hits so far in 4 starts.
An 0.7 whip. You don't see that very often. Mets and Orioles. Mets going for the 2-game sweep. All the action on SNY. Garage sales event. You could get a dream deal with standard rear view camera now at your Honda dealer. By Geico, over 75 years of savings and service. And by Optimum, presenting Mets games in crystal clear HD. Get to Citi Field Sunday, May 17th when the Mets take on the Brewers at 1:10. The first 15,000 fans will receive a Daniel Murphy magnet card, courtesy of Wise Snacks. After the game, all kids 12 and under can run the bases in the Mr. Met Dash. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Family Sundays. SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. The road ahead is presented by Buick. Mets have a day off tomorrow. They begin a 7-game road trip. A Friday night in Philadelphia, 3 in Philly, and then 4 in Chicago before the Mets return home to play the Brewers and the Cardinals on their next homestand. Who are the 4 players who best represent the history of the Mets, and who are the 4 greatest Major League Baseball players? Go to MLB.com/franchise4 to cast your ballots. Winners will be revealed during the All-Star game July 14th. Jacob DeGrom making his way in, looking to right his ship and get the Mets a sweep of the Orioles. First pitch coming right up. Season. Last year's National League Rookie of the Year, who's been very successful in his home ballpark. Here's the lineup he'll face tonight. A little different for Buck Showalter. Alejandro De Aza didn't start last night. Neither did David Lowe. They're both in there tonight. The Orioles still shy some important players. They should be getting one back tomorrow in J.J. Hardy, but this is the lineup DeGrom will face tonight.
Well, here's his Jeep numbers. It's been a strange season for DeGrom. A 2-run home run he gave up to Ryan Zimmerman in his first start, then 18 in the third, scoreless innings, and 11 runs in his last 10 in the third innings.
First pitch up and away to Alejandro De Aza, and we're underway. De Aza, who began his career in the National League with the Marlins back in '07, and his best year with the White Sox 2 years ago when he hit 17 home runs. And he flies one foul. De Aza has been playing most of the left field. He's in right field tonight, and after sitting the last 3 games, back in the lineup for the Orioles tonight. Baltimore 12-12 on the year. Last year's American League Eastern Division champions have been kind of muddling their way through. Jimmy Paredes on deck, and then Adam Jones for Baltimore. And De Aza fouls away the fastball at 95 from DeGrom, and it's 1-2. The last 4 games, the Mets starting pitchers have given up a total of 3 earned runs. And DeGrom trying to fall in with his mates. Last 2 starts have not been easy for him. First at Yankee Stadium and then against the Nats here last Thursday night.
You know, it's been really hard when you've been watching Jacob, because I talked a little bit about the frustration he had in his last start. He's a guy that's used to having impeccable control. He's lost some of that the last 2 starts.
Ahead 1-2 on the leadoff man, and De Aza strikes out, but the ball goes to the backstop. Plawecki recovers but can't get it there in time, and De Aza is aboard on a strikeout to start the night.
Well, this is a good pitch by DeGrom. It's a slider down and in, and it's a pitch really that Plawecki's got to handle. Through the 5-hole, you'll see he gets his glove down, but he does not get his knees down. That ball's got to be blocked.
Well, they're going to score that a wild pitch because it hit the dirt, but I think you're absolutely right, Ronnie. That's on Plawecki. So a leadoff base runner, and now Paredes, the second baseman, 1 for 4 last night. Paredes has been serving mostly as a DH for the Orioles early in the year. Switch hitter, batting from his better side, and DeGrom's pickoff throw is low, and Duda has to bail him out. So some early bobbles.
You know, when you have struggled a little bit, things seem to go awry, like little pickoff throws. You strike out a guy, he ends up on first base.
Down to Duda. The quick toss to second. Flores the return. DeGrom covers in time. Double play. 3-6-1. And that'll erase the bobbles.
Well, first, nice backhand here by Lucas. He throws it on the run beautifully. And the Wilmer Flores with the return throw right on line. And I think DeGrom might be the only pitcher on the Mets staff that is fast enough to get over there and make that play.
Almost had his foot on the bad spot
He
there
did.
on top of the bag.
He had it on top of the bag and then moved it ever so slightly to give Paredes a chance to get on the base.
Alan Porter with the call at first base. Look and listen, but he got him. And no challenge by the Orioles. 2 out and nobody on. And that's exactly how the Mets want to face Adam Jones, who leads the American League in batting at .396 and takes a fastball for a strike. All of these Orioles are seeing DeGrom for the first time in a regular season game. One of those vagaries of interleague play. Sometimes there's a guy you've come across before, and sometimes you've got nothing but video to go by. And that's the case for the Orioles tonight against Jacob. He's ahead 0-2 on Jones, and he misses away with a slider. Tonight's game changer brought to you by T-Mobile. Adam Jones leading the American League in batting. You see the rest of the top 5. 1-2 coming. Off the outside corner. 2-2. Chris Davis, who hit a long home run in the 9th inning against Familia last night, is on deck. And DeGrom misses again with the slider and goes to a full count.
Well, last year at this time, whenever he got to a 3-2 count, he would just dart that outside corner down and away from right-handed hitters. Let's see if he can do it here. Coming in, though.
And Jones yanks it foul into the Orioles dugout.
Well, you look at the Lexus defense for the Mets. Kadire, Lagares, Granderson every single night. Up the middle, you've got Flores and Herrera, the double play combination with Murphy and Duda on the corners, and Plawecki, the rookie, doing the catching.
Again, the 3-2, and he gets him with a breaking ball. DeGrom strikes out Jones to end the inning. Second strikeout for DeGrom. Mets come to bat, no score. tonight. Pretty much the same unit Terry Collins has been running out there every night. Curtis Granderson takes a strike from Ubaldo Jimenez.
Well, his signature year was 2010 with the Rockies when he won 19 ball games, finished third in the Cy Young Award. Those are Toyota numbers for him so far this year.
And he misses inside with a curveball, 1-1. Granderson 1 for 3 last night, drew another walk, his 18th of the year. He's 4th in the league in walks, and thus the .364 on base percentage. And they put the shift on against him, and Curtis trying to defy it. Goes foul, and it's 1-2. Had a bunt hit his first time up last night with the shift on.
Almost took Tough out. That's the shift. Machado playing the shortstop position. Many thought that when he first came up, that would be where he would probably play. One of the more unusual motions you'll see. See Lagares on deck from Jimenez. Drops that right arm right along his right leg before he delivers the pitch.
And Granderson lofts one deep down the right field line. Over toward the corner goes De Aza near the wall, and he makes the catch. Granderson hitting a fly ball to that short part of the park and almost got it to go.
Well, when it left the bat, I thought because of where it was going to get out of the park, but it didn't travel. Stayed in the ballpark, and De Aza's got good speed. This entire Orioles outfield today has got great speed with a fly ball pitcher like Jimenez.
So one long out, and now Juan Lagares. Juan took an 0 for 4 last night, his first 0 for in a home game this season, hitting .311 on the year. And as he described it after the game, remember his run in with Kadire in left center, he said they never made contact, but he fell on his own elbow, which knocked the wind out of him. And he was perfectly fine after that.
For you folks who have not had that happen to you, it is the worst feeling. You can't breathe.
Yeah, you think you're never going to breathe again. 2-1 to Lagares, but then it goes away.
Yes, it does. Not quick enough, but it does go away.
Ronnie mentioned Jimenez's great year in 2010. He finished third in the Cy Young balloting that year, went 19-8. The next 2 years, 11 and 12, he was combined 19 and 30 with a 5.03 ERA. But then rebounded in Cleveland 2 years ago, went 13 and 9, 3.3, and the Orioles gave him a 4-year, $40 million contract, and then he was awful last year. Went 6 and 9, 4.81 last year. But he's off to a great start this year. There's that Lagares catch and the aftermath.
I mean, it's unbelievable that they didn't make contact. Well, there was a tiny bit of contact, but more of him falling on that elbow in his hand.
(3-2) to Lagares, and he chops one slowly. That's going to be a tough play. Machado slicing in, and he gets him by half a stride. Manny Machado, who's won a Gold Glove at third base, makes a nice play.
We got some leather on both sides of this field. Machado is outstanding. I tend to forget this is a 6'4" young man who can cover that much ground. Not only that ball's hit right to shortstop, he cuts it off, and then they gun to first base.
Well, if that ball gets to Cabrera, the shortstop, there's no way they throw Lagares out. Machado had to make that play. So 2 out and nobody on. Now Lucas Duda. Duda went 1 for 4 last night, but that one was huge. A leadoff double in the 4th inning that set the spark for a 3-run inning. First time the Mets had scored in 2.5 games. And Jimenez is throwing harder tonight than he has this year as you look at the shift on Duda.
Another big shift. They're doing it both to Granderson and Duda. Same shift.
In Jimenez's big year in 10, he averaged 96 with his fastball. So far this year, 89.7.
I would say that he was, it'd be hard for people to think about this because of Matt's off the field kind of personality. He was like Harvey-like when he first came up with Colorado. Finished third in that Cy Young, like you said, Gary, behind Halladay and Wainwright.
Well, even before that, remember, he came up briefly in 06, but his first real year was 07. In the postseason that year, he pitched a couple of gems. I mean, he was the flavor of the month in October of '07 when the Rockies went to the World Series quite unexpectedly. Remember they had Franklin Morales on that staff too, another hard throwing young pitcher.
Throwing 95 plus from the left side.
With that 133 batting average against. It's been a long time since an Orioles done that in April. And as Duda gets jammed and fouls it off.
Jeff Francis on that team, the left-hander.
Well, that was that remarkable run where they won, what, 21 of 22 to get to the World Series. Winning that wild card playoff game after falling behind in extra innings when Matt Holliday scored without ever touching the plates.
Right.
And Aaron Cook on that staff. Here's the 2-2. And Duda hits it right to the third baseman Machado, playing alone on the left side. And that retires the side. So Jimenez gets the Mets 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first. After one, no score. The only 6 National League starting pitchers to win Rookie of the Year since 1990. Wow. So the last 25 years?
Yeah.
My math.
Crazy, right?
6 starting pitchers. We know one of them. Well, there's Tony DeGrom, Jake's dad, is here tonight to watch him pitch.
Gotta be so proud, right?
Got his St. Patrick's Day Met cap.
He does. He must have went to the game on the 17th, right?
Well, Jake struck out 2 in the first inning. One of them reached, but he got a double play that he was able to finish off. Chris Davis leads off and takes a strike. Davis slammed one over the fence in left center last night for his 6th home run of the year in the 9th inning against Jerry's Familia. 2 years removed from his 53 home run season.
My parents used to come to the game, Gary, for about a year and a half, and then they stopped coming.
What do you mean stop
coming? They just
coming?
stopped coming. It was just too many of you Met fans were coming to the game. It was 40,000 plus every night. Would take them 5 hours to get home to Massachusetts, so they just decided that's it, done. And it was a superstation then, so they were able to at least see some of the games. Not the Sports Channel games, but all the other ones.
The Channel 9 games back in the day. Davis grounds one foul back in the days of Tim McCarver and Steve Zabriskie, Ralph Kiner.
They were great on Saturday day games. I pitched Friday night. They always had the headset down near the bench at Shea Stadium, and I always put the headset on and listen to them do the game. It was fantastic.
1-2 from DeGrom, and Davis fouls it off.
Timmy just had that, he still does, but he just had that way of speaking that was, I don't know, it was like Mark Twain-like in explaining the game of baseball.
Struck him out. High fastball for DeGrom, and he struck out 3 of his first 4 batters.
Well, what's nice to see is that DeGrom has so far some swing and miss stuff. 3 strikeouts, all swinging and not making any contact. This one tied up Davis up and in. You know, it looks like it's a 4-seamer because it's up in the zone, but it wasn't. He was with the seams and just let that ball ride.
Well, DeGrom in his last start had only 7 swings and misses. His previous start against the Yankees only 4. And let's face it, he's been a swing and miss pitcher. He had never had fewer than 7 in any start before those last 2, and now he's already got 3 in this game through the first 4 batters. Manny Machado hitting 5th in the order, and he fouls one back this way. Ronnie, I think that's as close as the ball's ever come to getting in our booth.
That almost made me really happy because that almost hit the guy that was right in front of me that I can't see the field. That would have been fantastic. But it is. It's the closest one that almost coming in the booth. I was ready.
We're at such an angle here at Citi Field. It's almost impossible in a physical sense to get the ball in the booth.
We've got to get someone from your alma mater, Columbia, to come up here as a mathematician and figure it out.
Well, between the fact that home plate is so close to the backstop,
right,
and the screen is so high, and we're set back pretty far as Machado hits one by Murphy for the first Orioles hit. It would be awfully hard. You'd have to have a ball that would take several turns on its way up here.
Well, I mean, maybe bounce, but did you see the Machado last night with the home run and this top spin ground ball that gets past Murph? Nothing Murph could do there.
So 1 out and 1 on. Now David Lowe, the left fielder. We saw Lowe here playing a couple of years ago for the Kansas City Royals. Started the year on the disabled list with a hamstring injury, making his 4th start tonight. And he is overmatched on that fastball.
You know, a couple seasons ago, Buck Showalter had Nate McLouth, who did a great job off the bench here and starting some games for the Orioles. And he's been looking for that guy ever since. David Lowe is the next guy in line.
There goes Machado. The throw by Plawecki on a hop. Safe. Machado's 4th stolen base of the year.
Well, that's the one thing. This is a guy who's had both knees operated on and still will get a few bags during the year. A 1-hop throw from Plawecki. Kind of threw that flat-footed. Good jump by Machado. You tend not to pay attention to him because you think more of him as a guy who has power, a doubles hitter, that he can't run, but he can. Just got that left hand in over the foot of Flores.
Only the 9th stolen base of the year for the Orioles, who don't do a whole lot of running. So they've got a runner in scoring position with 1 out, but a 2-strike count on Lowe with Caleb Joseph, the catcher, on deck. And Lowe yanks one foul on a slider. David Lowe played his college baseball at Mercyhurst College in Pennsylvania, which means he played in college against Anthony Recker, who went to Alvernia College.
There you go.
Small colleges. But you know what? If you can play, they'll find you.
I was reading something online. Don't the Mets have a kid from Division III, Seth Lugo, that's gotten off to a quick start? You never know.
And DeGrom powers his way by David Lowe for the 2nd out. Already 4 strikeouts for Jacob.
Well, I think the big key so far is that Jacob's gotten ahead of most of the hitters he's faced. So when he's gotten ahead, been able to raise or elevate that fastball and threw it right by Lowe.
So 2 out. Machado still at 2nd. And here's Caleb Joseph, the catcher, who went 0 for 4 last night and struck out his first 3 at-bats against Bartolo Colon. Well, everybody was buzzing today about Colon and his performance last night. He has really taken things to an entirely different level as he approaches his 42nd birthday.
You know, I was trying to think of a pitcher in my time that was a marvel because of how he had changed his complete approach to getting hitters out. And the only name I could come up with was Frank Tanana, who was a guy that used to throw 100 miles an hour with an 100 miles an hour when he was with the Angels, with Nolan Ryan, and then became a curveball changeup thrower for the Detroit Tigers.
Murphy throws out Joseph, and Tanaka played some of his final years with the Mets as well in the early 90s. No score as we go to the bottom of the second. NL starting pitchers to win Rookie of the Year the last quarter century. Of course, Jacob DeGrom. And there you see the rest of them. We showed them briefly, so we'll show them again.
Going to be a speed reader. Here we go.
A couple of Marlins on there. Jason Jennings with the Rockies. Kerry Wood with the Cubs. Hideo Noma with the Dodgers.
Jason Jennings, is he the guy that hit the home run and threw a shutout against the Mets?
In his first major league start.
Wow.
It's a nice way to start your career. Michael Kadire 1 for 3 last night. Jimenez quickly ahead of him 0-2. And this is inside. A ball and 2 strikes. Daniel Murphy to follow, then Wilmer Flores for the Mets in the second. Well, the Mets scored those 3 runs in the 4th inning last night. Since then, 17 straight Mets have been retired since Kevin Plawecki's double in that 4th inning. There's the splitter from Jimenez, and it's 2-2. Jimenez has become a kitchen sink kind of a guy.
Well, he doesn't have that riding fastball. You know, when you lose that 95 plus, you've got to start using those secondary pitches.
There's a 94 from Ubaldo.
But he always had a pretty good breaking ball. It's his changeup that really wasn't that great, but no one better than Dave Wallace, the pitching coach for the Orioles, to teach you that.
Dave Wallace, who was pitching coach with the Mets when they went to the World Series in 2000. And Kadire's on with a leadoff walk. So the Mets have their first base runner.
There's a Coors Light defense for the Orioles. Lots of speed in the outfield with Jimenez pitching today. Machado, Cabrera, Paredes, and Davis in the infield. And Caleb Joseph, until Matt Wieters comes back, will be the #1 catcher.
Which is going to be a while. Wieters still has not caught back-to-back games. Has not caught 9 innings in a game down in extended spring. So it's going to be at least another month for him coming back from Tommy John surgery. Daniel Murphy takes a strike. Murph went 2 for 3 last night and drove in a run. Now has 18 runs batted in, which ties him for 6th in the National League despite a .219 batting average. Jimenez pitching from the stretch for the first time. And Murphy pops it up. Herrera makes the call. 1 away.
We were talking about Jason Jennings and the start he made, Gary. You see how the start that Mr. Carlos Perez made for the Los Angeles Angels last night?
The catcher for the Angels. They called him up. Big league debut. Comes up in the bottom of the ninth and hits a walk-off home run. Last player to hit a walk-off home run in his major league debut.
I know the answer, so I can't say it.
He was a little younger.
Yes.
Miguel Cabrera as a 19-year-old with the Florida Marlins in 2003. But, I mean, what do you do for an encore?
Well, they said the last Angel to do it was Billy Parker, who I didn't know as a player at all.
I don't even know that name.
Yeah, I didn't know it either.
Is that back in the Bo Belinsky days?
Yeah.
0-2 to Flores. Wilmer 1 for 3 last night. Drilled a double in that big 3-run fourth for the Mets after sitting out the previous 2 games. Kadire at first and 1 out, and that strike 3 called. Jimenez paints the inside corner for his first strikeout.
Well, he had made the same pitch on Kadire that was not called that he just made on Wilmer Flores. That fastball inside that he tries to paint, and pitching inside is something he does more now than he used to. Good pitch there by Jimenez.
Well, he pitched inside in his second start of the season, and it cost him the rest of his start when he drilled Pablo Sandoval in Boston. Got ejected in the 4th inning of that game. Here's Kevin Plawecki. A 2-run double in the game last night. 5-game hitting streak now for Plawecki, who's now making his 12th start in the absence of Travis d'Arnaud. Good sinker by Jimenez, 0-1, and he's getting ahead of every hitter.
You can see why the numbers are such as Herrera waits on deck. 10 hits given up in this early season for Jimenez.
10 hits and 24 1/3 now, and only 9 walks. So his whip, walks and hits per innings pitched coming into the game, was 0.79, which is just off the charts. And nice for the Orioles, who did not get much of a return from Jimenez in his first year with Baltimore. Two to Plawecki. The Orioles are interesting in that they won 96 games last year without really an ace on their staff. They juggled 6 starting pitchers and really did a nice job of filling the gaps.
Although Chris Tillman is an underrated pitcher. He might not be a number 1, but he's a 1A or 2.
But guys like Miguel Gonzalez and Wei Yin Chen, who are very serviceable pitchers, but they don't jump out at you as dominant starting pitcher.
Well, they've been waiting a couple years. They thought that they'd already have Dylan Bundy up by now, who is kind of, I'm trying to, if you watch the Oakland Athletics, Sonny Gray is a little bit like that kind of pitcher. Not a tall guy, but a hard-throwing right-hander who's been beset by injuries.
In the dirt, knocked down nicely by Joseph to keep Kadire at first base.
This is getting down on the ball. We were talking about Plawecki not getting those knee pads down. Watch Joseph. Drops right to his knees, makes his body as big as he can, so it just hits that cushion, the chest protector, and keeps it in front. We talked about being a pitcher and having great center fielders in Lagares and Adam Jones. Well, it's great to have a catcher who can block the ball in the dirt. It's so important that you're not afraid to bounce it up there. You know he'll keep it in front. Jimenez must know something about the 36-year-old Kadire that we don't know.
Well, he has not attempted a stolen base yet this year. Plawecki takes below the knees, 3-2. By the way, Billy Parker, 1971, so it was post Bo Belinsky, post Dean Chance, post Bobby Knopp. Well, maybe Knopp was
David Knopp was there. Bo Belinsky, by the way, you just wanted to, Bo, where are we going and can I go?
Back in the Mamie Van Doren days.
That's right.
Off the corner and a walk to Plawecki. Second walk of the inning issued by Jimenez. A 3-2 slider. And Dilson Herrera will get a turn at bat with 2 men on.
That's not a lot of respect for the youngster Herrera, so maybe he can make him pay here.
Well, Dilson was red hot when the Mets called him up from Vegas, but that is not translated yet. Just 1 for 13, and the only hit was an infield single. It's now his 5th start since being called up. Jones made a nice catch to take an extra base hit away from him last night. And he takes a strike from Jimenez, who's now throwing first pitch strikes to 7 of the first 8 batters.
Pretty straight up. See Adam Jones shading to right center field, in center. Last night we saw home plate umpire Jeff Kellogg have a very generous strike zone. I think same tonight with Brian O'Nora. Good for the pitchers.
1-1 to Herrera. DeGrom would be next. And the curveball sits up and in, and it's 2-1.
Well, this is a perfect storm here for Herrera. He's a rookie. If you're a pitcher out there who has the kind of experience that Jimenez has, you should get a fastball here, 2-1.
Herrera with surprising power for a little guy, and he hits one up the middle to his left. Cabrera, he can't smother it, and it's into center field. And Kadire comes home with the first run of the game. Dilson Herrera gets his first RBI of the season, and the Mets have a 1-0 lead.
Well, good for Dilson. I mean, he needed a base hit, and a base hit to drive in a runner with 2 outs, even better. Gets the count in his favor, gets a fastball down and over the middle, and he just hits it right back up the middle. And both infielders did what you're supposed to do, dive and try to keep it in the infield. But one, it went underneath, and one just beat him.
Was there anything in Cabrera's dive that told you maybe he was concerned about Paredes coming and he might have pulled up a little short and not knocked it down because of that?
I didn't see that as much as what I should have seen. Is that you see the angle he takes towards it, Gary? Is that maybe you're right, but what I would have done, I think, is if you can now, you have to look back on it, is that take a little different angle, because you're not going to make the play at first base anyway. So if you take a little different angle, you'll keep that ball in front of you.
So go a little deeper.
Yeah, a little deeper.
Just to make sure that the run doesn't score.
I mean, easy up here to say, but you would not have had to play at Herrera even if you came up with that one.
DeGrom looking for his first hit of the season, 0 for 9. And Jimenez gets ahead of him with a breaking ball, 1-2.
Well, Jacob's seen plenty of breaking pitches this year, and he'll see plenty more as the season goes along.
So a couple of walks coming back to hurt Ubaldo Jimenez. And the Mets able to scratch out the first run of the game. Inside to DeGrom, 2-2. Curtis Granderson would be next. Mets haven't faced Ubaldo Jimenez since 2011. 6 career starts against the Mets. And DeGrom stays alive. 2-3 with a 3.4 ERA, but it's almost irrelevant. There are only 3 guys in the lineup tonight who have faced Ubaldo before, and only one of them faced him as a Met. That was Daniel Murphy. The other 2, Granderson and Kadire, faced him in the American League. 2 on, 2 out, 2-2 to DeGrom, and a slow ground ball. Paredes comes in to get it. And that retires the side, but the Mets able to fashion a run. Dilson Herrera with his first RBI of the season, and that hands Jacob DeGrom a 1-0 lead going to the 3rd. this week's draft and the impact the rookies will have on the season. Plus, hear from Darrelle Revis and his thoughts on being a Jet again on an all-new Jets Nation Sunday at 7, only on SNY. Jacob DeGrom staked to a 1-0 lead. Struck out 4 through the first 2 innings. He'll get 8, 9, and 1 in the order. Everett Cabrera leads off. Cabrera 0 for 3 last night, 0 for his last 12, and probably 0 for a job tomorrow because the Orioles hope to bring J.J. Hardy back from his rehab assignment. He's been out all season with a shoulder injury.
It's always the strangest thing in a clubhouse in baseball, isn't it? When you're playing and you know that the incumbent, the guy that's been given a big contract, I think they gave him a 4-year contract, J.J. Hardy, who's been so good at shortstop for him, is coming back tomorrow, and you're done.
I mean, you could make the case that J.J. Hardy is one of the most underrated players in the last 5-10 years.
I agree.
I mean, he hits 20 to 30 home runs a year. He fields his position well. Hits for a pretty good average, lifetime .261 hitter. I mean, he's an offensive and defensive shortstop. As Cabrera floats one foul, and that's beyond the reach of Murphy.
He's even better shortstop than you think. He is just nails out there. And he's also a great teammate, great team player, unselfish, all the things you'd like in a teammate. Started his real offensive prowess, I believe, in Milwaukee.
Right.
He had a couple good years.
07, 08, 26 and 24 home runs there. Then he went to Minnesota for 1 year before he landed in Baltimore. Cabrera back with a new bat. DeGrom ahead of him 1-2. He's able to foul off the fastball. See what Bryce Harper did this afternoon?
I watched it. In fact, I left for the ballpark late because I wanted to see his 4th at bat.
It homers his first 3 at bats, the last 2 in the upper deck in Washington.
The 3rd one he almost hit out of the seating, like where the seats are in the top. He almost hit it over the last row
to the concourse.
Yes.
And then his 4th at bat, he grounded out. Broken bat line or foul. The youngest player, Bryce Harper, at 22 years old, to hit 3 home runs in a game since Joe LaHood.
Wow.
With the Boston Red Sox in 1969.
You know, I know that name.
Well, of course.
They were saying the guys that had been younger were Eddie Matthews when he was 20 and Mel Ott when he was 21. Wow.
By the way, the Nats held on to win that game 7-5. It got a little dicey for them in the end, despite the 3 Harper home runs. Stanton hit a 3-run bomb off Scherzer.
I mean, that's kind of the games that Harper had as an amateur why he got drafted #1. He would have games like that all the time.
Yeah, he was talking about the fact that he had 2 4-home run games in junior college, one where he went 6 for 6 and drove in 10 runs. And you know, he was young. He graduated high school when he was
16.
16.
Yeah, he got his GED when he was 16.
So he was even young for junior college. 8th pitch of the at bat to Cabrera, and a little dribbler. Off the mound is the athletic DeGrom, and reaching into the runner Duda, but he gets the out. That's a dangerous play sometimes for a first baseman, reaching into the line like that.
Well, the natural way that his ball is going to run is up that line, but Duda was fortunate enough to work his glove around kind of the body of Cabrera, make the catch, and then get out of dodge.
That's the kind of play that we saw Cliff Floyd get hurt on years ago when Todd Hundley ran into his arm much on a play like that. So 1 out and nobody on. Now Ubaldo Jimenez, who's never been much of a bat, lifetime 113 hitter. His first plate appearance this season. Of course, he began his career in the National League. He's been in the American League for a while now with Cleveland and Baltimore. And he lashes one foul, and it's 1-1.
I had a lot of friends who are Mets fans texting me last night after the game about the defense of Bartolo Colon. He made a really fine play on Delman Young early in the game.
You made a great point, though, about that play. It wasn't just that he went a long way to get a ground ball to the left side that was headed toward third base, but that he knew who the base runner was, knew how much time he had, and made it look easy.
And you tend to look at a pitcher like Bartolo and just think that, well, he can pitch, but he can't hit, he can't field. Not true. Might not be a great hitter, but he can field his position.
DeGrom goes high to get this one and throws out his opposite number. 2 out. Now there's a guy who can field his position.
Former shortstop at Stetson, and they moved him into the bullpen, and now a starting pitcher for your Mets.
Well, it hasn't been as easy for DeGrom this season, but his fellow Stetson honoree Corey Kluber has had it even rougher. Last year's American League Cy Young Award winner.
He hasn't won yet. High ERA. See the De Asa taking his time with the pitcher who just grounded out.
De Asa struck out leading off the game, but the ball got by Plawecki, and De Asa reached on a wild pitch. I remember when De Asa first came up with the Marlins. He was a tremendous outfielder, but he was always getting hurt. Nice bunt. They'll never throw him out. De Asa has a bunt single. A lot of speed. Terrific fly catcher in the outfield. Can play all 3 outfield positions.
He's got more power than you think. That takes advantage here of Murphy back, and he puts the ball perfectly. There's nothing you could do. It shows you when combined speed with the ability to put that ball down the line. I mean, Rod Carew, people knew every time he came up, he was a threat to bunt. He could still bunt for a base hit any time he wanted to.
So De Asa at first, and DeGrom will have to keep an eye on him. The Orioles have already stolen a base tonight. Well, it was certainly true in his last start. DeGrom was dominant first time through the order and struggled after that. And that's been the case so far this year.
Well, the numbers usually rise, but not at the rate that they have this season. Last season he kept it in check. Not so much so far this year.
Last start against Washington, he was perfect first time through the order, and then had an error made behind him, and it all came apart, and he wound up leaving the game in the 6th inning. View from the promenade. A good slider by DeGrom. 1-1 to Paredes. Adam Jones would be next. DeGrom's now had 6 swings and misses, which is 1 fewer than he had his entire start against Washington.
Although if you're pitching in this game, Gary, you have to think with 2 outs, this is the hitter I've got to get out. Cannot face Jones with 2 runners on.
And Paredes swings at another slider, and it's 1-2.
Boy, 2 good sliders in a row. Looks like a fastball at the very end, almost like a cutter more than a slider.
One-two coming to Paredes. Struck him out. High heat from DeGrom, his 5th strikeout of the night. After being handed the lead, DeGrom puts up a 0. When we come back, comedian Jim Brewer joins us in the booth. Mets up 1-0.
Mr. Daniel Murphy found a run today. Daniel always coming through. Dying to say, when in trouble, dial 911. Let's go next.
Well, you may know him from Saturday Night Live. You might know him from his radio show, his stand-up act, but more recently from his post-game recaps. Comedian Jim Brewer is with us. Jim, it's great to have you here.
Mr. Cohen, this is an honor. Mr. Darling, what a pleasure. We got to discuss your situation here. First of all, well, I would see you with the Candy Man. We're looking for another walk from our man Candy. Oh, we'll take that, though. That's far. And the Grandy Man put Brewer in the boot, and we're developing runs. Take your time, Candy. Take your time. And you know what? If we're gonna, not only did he belt one, may I just recap, boys, that the seas are nice and calm and the wind is perfect because DeGrom is sailing tonight. Wow, does he look good?
So I think you've gotten a taste of what Jim is all about. He's become the post-game voice of the involved Met fan, and involved you are.
Yes, and has that ever happened in the history where a guest comes in and the first pitch they hit a homer?
Yes. The kid casters, they always get the home run.
All right, well, kids deserve it. Kids deserve it. I can live with the kid. I can live with that. Here's my favorite. When the ball's hit in the outfield, you always dial 9 Juan. What I was going to say, too, was...
Garris hits from the center, and Adam Jones has it. One away. So, you obviously come by this Mets fandom honestly.
Yes.
You grew up on Long Island.
Huge Met.
What are your earliest memories of being a Met fan?
The very earliest were watching the '73 Mets. I was only. Why are you laughing, Ronnie?
No.
I have to say, it was Felix Millan and Bud Harrelson and being a little boy. And I was traumatized watching Rusty Staub run into the wall. I didn't understand why he was laying on the ground. And to this day, I hate Pete Rose for punching Bud Harrelson. I was traumatized as a little boy watching a man my favorite get punched out. It really disturbed me.
Dude pops it up. Left fielder Lowe is there to grab it, and there are 2 out. Sure. So,
and then my dad would, we'd come here a lot, and then when the Mets were terrible, those were great years because we'd show up by upper deck seats, and for $3 extra, we could probably sit in the dugout back then. It was great. I spent a lot of memories here.
I'm sorry, you corrupted ushers?
Oh, absolutely. I have no problem saying that. Blue collar. Long Island, South Shore. Those ushers did very well on us during the late 70s and earlys watch at the Met games.
Here's Gadire with 2 out. So these rants that you do, I don't know if you call them rants, but these post-game analyses that you do, they're on YouTube, they're on Facebook, they've become incredibly popular. Yeah. How did that happen?
Well, it's really me just calling my Met friends up. And they always say, one day if we were able to put this out there. And what started was I just started putting Facebook videos up there. And at first it started with my kids, being an aggravator with my kids. This kid leaves the drawers open, always a mess. And then it turned into a little. And then I said, let me start talking after the Met games. It started from game 1. Come on.
No play from Machado, and Gadire's got an infield hit.
Holy Kadaya. As the great Ronnie James Dio would say. I don't expect either one of you gentlemen to know that reference. And then talking to the Mets, and as from a Mets fan perspective.
Now, are your friends, they're so excited to see these? They can't wait till after the games to see what you have to say about the Mets games?
Well, what it's turned into is not only the Met fans, but it's went into a broader base. I have a guy from Germany. There's people from Switzerland. I don't even know Mets, but I love watching the post games. It's, and when the Mets play the Yankees, I got a lot of Yankee fans saying, I'm not a Mets fan, but now I find myself rooting for the Mets because of your updates. And a lot of people out of town, it's it's gone crazy, even walking around the stadium here.
We're talking with Jim Brewer. So the game ends, and are you, like 5 seconds later, you're doing this thing, or are you preparing a little bit?
As soon as the game ends, I'm into it. And I do start thinking about in the 9th inning. Like last night, I started pre-taping, and then what's his name on the Orioles hit that home run.
Chris Davis.
He hit that home run. I like something right there.
Murphy flies out to end the inning, but Curtis Granderson adds a run for the Mets. His second home run of the year after he came close his first at bat. We'll keep Jim Brewer around for the next half inning. Mets now with a 2-0 lead. Not very good. They had an attraction in Willie Montañez, who not only excited the fans but also excited the San Diego Chicken. And Jim, I understand Willie was one of your favorites as well.
I loved imitating Willie Montañez, and that would show. Those are some of the down years for the Mets. And what was funny is Willie would boast going around the bases. I don't think he hit more than 14 home runs in a season. So I don't know if he was just excited because he hit the ball or. Yeah, Willie Montañez.
So you were coming to games when there were 4,000 people at Shea Stadium.
Oh yeah, Joel Youngblood, Doug Sisk. You can hear us yelling on TV.
Adam Jones leads off in the 4th inning. So who were some of your other favorites? Willie Montañez obviously got your attention because he had the flash, but who were your other?
I mean my all-times. The early years.
I mean, other than Ronnie.
No, but you got Mookie's jersey on.
I love Mookie.
Okay.
I love Mookie. Loved Strawberry. Keith, Gary Carter. Gary Carter. I loved Gary Carter. And then on this team, obviously there's Harvey, but I love Duda and Lagares. And I got to say, DeGrom's one of my favorites.
Flores throws out Adam Jones by a stride, one away.
Can explain this to me, since you do your post game, the phenomenon of Bartolo Colon for the Mets fan.
This is how I explain him, and this is a very tough reference. I don't expect a lot of people to do it. In the 70s, there was a show called Felix the Cat, and on there was a character called Vavoom. To me, Bartolo Colon is Vavoom. And what Vavoom would do, he kind of had a large head, and he would come up to objects that the cat couldn't get by, and he'd just go, Vavoom! Vavoom! And he'd clear the path. I feel that's what Bartolo Colon does for these Mets. Even though you have Harvey of everyone, he just shows up. Who we playing? Boom! Bang! We're in the game. He is Baboon.
So this season has already had its ups and downs. I mean, here the Mets in first place by 4 games, which I don't think anybody expected, but they lost a few games early. They had this wonderful 11-game winning streak, a rough last couple of weeks. So do you suffer through those ups and downs the way a fan would, or are you now more of a journalist since you're doing these post-game reports?
Oh, no. If you watch the videos, I suffer as a fan. I think that's why it keeps going viral. It's when you hurt me as a fan, I let you know, and I've done it in the videos. I love Wilmer. But I'm talking to him face to face in some of those videos.
6 strikeouts.
Some of those videos. Wilmer, love you, but not when you're giving up runs. Not when you're giving up runs.
Now, you're very much cinema verite with this. You're doing this in your house, in your garage.
Yes. Wherever,
involving your family.
Yes. Sometimes the kids are. The other day, I woke the kids up and they were tossing pillows at me while I was trying to finish up the recap, and they were pelting me with pillows. But I got the recap in. But sometimes in my garage. Sometimes it's on the road. I'm doing a road trip now. And when I'm on this road trip, I'm a little nervous. I'll be on stage, and I'm going to have to stop the show. And I'm going to have to do it from wherever I'm performing comedy. It's the way it's got to be. Oh.
Machado's got himself a 2-out hit, and he's 2 for 2.
Don't worry about it, DeGrom.
So game 162, after game 162, what do you anticipate saying this season, 2015?
I see this very similar as 1985, where we watched, even though they get rid of Hubie, it was like Hubie came up, Strawberry was coming up, and you had these kids, and then you had some key players coming in. I feel the Mets this year are extremely close to playoffs. Extremely close. I will not be heartbroken if they don't make it. I will be heartbroken if they don't win over 80 games. I'm like, I felt we could have done better than that. Hold on. Come on.
So Jim, you've done some extraordinary things in your career. You were on Saturday Night Live. You've done radio. You've done stand-up.
Yes.
Where does this Mets thing and what you're doing now, this viral thing, where does that fit in?
I'll tell you where it fits in. I've worked with great people. I worked with Joe Pesci. Hey, Joe Pesci, DeGrom, take him out. Show him who's the boss. De Niro, come on, kid, strike him out. Strike him out. Show him what you do. Nicholson. What a wonderful day to be at the game. However, these moments, standing next to the great Ron Darling and you, Mr. Goat, these stand far and above any of those moments, because this is passion. This is love. And I'm just being honest with you. This is way more exciting. And making the videos up.
Well, it certainly comes through in the videos how much you care, because why else would you be doing it?
I'm not getting paid for it. It's not like I'm making a living. Like, hey, Joe, here's another. I'm not getting nothing for it. But the interaction with the fans is a lot of fun.
I mean, do you read all the comments?
Oh, yeah.
You should get a lot of comments.
A lot of comments. And matter of fact, Edward Biggs Rodriguez, all the best to your daughter who's battling. No. I'm being a Yeah, his daughter's 6, and all the best. I've met so many friends, so many fans. He's a military guy. Just great people. And there are a couple people that there's a Braves fan.
Get a little agitated.
That I was ready to go down and literally go face to face, nose to nose. And now we're like best friends. He's come to see me in Charlotte.
Do you think your success might breed imitators in other cities?
Oh, hands down. But I am the originator. So, and I started from game 1, and that's the thing that helps my whole situation.
Machado takes off, and he'll make it without a throw. His second stolen base of the night.
And Ronnie, I was going to say from before was I do see next year the Mets getting a big bopper. I don't know where they're getting it. Yeah. And then it's on, baby.
Well, they might be getting it from their farm system. Maybe Conforto or one of those guys. Nimmo might be one of those guys that gives it to you, right? That's a great name for a postgame
Finding
thing.
Nimmo. Let's find Nimmo now. That's next year's slogan, Finding Nimmo. Take him out.
3-2 to David Lowe, and he pops it up.
Bang, bang, boom.
And Murphy grabs it, and DeGrom works through the fourth, and we thank Jim Brewer. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much.
Are you preparing the post-game rant in your head right now?
It is. We got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Things can change. However, let's go Mets. DeGrom-nation tonight, and we'll be good.
Jim Brewer joining us in the booth. He's all set to go. We're still here. We're celebrating 10 years of Mets baseball. Hashtag SNY 10 years. Today's tweet comes from R.S. Quackenbush, sitting with his girlfriend before a date. And she said, you have to watch this. Pizza, no-hitter, married.
Wow.
Nice.
I remember two things from that game. One is that for the first time, I had left tickets for friends that had never been to a game. So that was their first Mets game. So they saw the no-hitter. And the second thing was really just a personal thing. But, you know, there's been such, you mentioned it on the air then when Santana threw the no-hitter, but you talked about some of the just outstanding pitchers that they've been lucky enough to have here in Mets history. I went downstairs, the only time I've ever done this, and shook Santana's hand. We ended up kind of emotionally hugging because it just was that kind of moment. I remember getting pretty emotional about it, that the no-hitter was pitched by pitching royalty was really important.
Well, it was an incredible night for anybody who had been a Mets fan for a period of time, because the no-hitter thing had become part of Mets lore. It had become part of the legacy, and I told you often that night and in days to follow, as Flores breaks his bat and grounds one to Paredes for the first out, that until David Freese swung at that last pitch, I didn't think it was ever going to happen.
I remember many times, because I tend to be the eternal optimist sometimes when it comes to the future of what's going to happen in the game. I would ask Gary occasionally, what's the great Johnny Maine, the game he pitched on that Saturday
against the Marlins,
where he gave up the infield hit.
Hoover.
And I would ask you, this is the day, and you'd always say, I don't know how many times I have to tell you this. There's never going to be a no-hitter in Mets history. And you had me believe in it, and it just was a magical day. And I'm happy it was Santana.
Yeah, and it took an extraordinary effort on his part, considering all the circumstances of that night and the fact that, you know, we got to the 6th inning of that game, and I don't think any of us expected that he'd be allowed to finish that game, much less that he'd be able to accomplish what he did.
I mean, did he throw 130-something pitches?
134 pitches that night, which, you know, who knows what effect that had on the length of his career afterward. And I know he's still trying to come back, but, you know, I think he'd trade that for having that moment.
Yeah, I think you're right too. And just another typical Mets game, no hitter, a ball that was fair, that was called foul, hit by Beltran. Josh Tolley just came off the DL. That was his first game. Queens kid makes a catch out in left field, Mike Baxter. I mean, amazing day.
Hit hard by Plawecki and by Machado for a base hit. Low over quickly to cut it off. And so Plawecki aboard for the second time tonight. A walk and now a hard hit single.
Well, before the game, Terry Collins had to start addressing the question that when Travis d'Arnaud comes back, what he's going to do with Plawecki, who has looked very comfortable at the plate. He's got a short, quick stroke. Hits a lot of line drives.
Explain this to me. You're playing Machado that far off the line against a right-hand hitter, and you're throwing off speed stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it should take that pitch away. It really should.
Now Dilson Herrera, who drove in the Mets' first run with a base hit up the middle in the second. Well, we started this conversation back in spring training about Plawecki and d'Arnaud, and we thought Plawecki would be ready sometime around mid-season, and of course he got here quicker because of d'Arnaud's injury. And Kevin has played some first base in his minor league career, and Terry said it, and we'd said this during spring training, that d'Arnaud is athletic enough that you could see him playing some games in the outfield at some point. And there's Travis still recovering from that broken bone in his hand.
Well, in all my time in baseball, I've never seen it done. I'm not saying it can't be done, but I've never seen a ball club with two outstanding young catchers where you've been able to fit them behind the plate and out in the field. Their bats in the lineup enough to keep both fresh. It'll be an interesting dilemma for Terry Collins to deal with.
Well, here's the way I look at it. Just from the standpoint of if Travis is able to come back healthy, and if Plawecki is still hitting, and you have the desire to keep the two of them around, you've got a team that's structured with two corner outfielders who are older players. And there's no reason why d'Arnaud can't go out there once or twice a week and take one of their spots if he has the ability to do that.
You know, the hard part is that he's coming off an injury, and it's an injury that, you know, he can't obviously throw with. But you can go out there and take some fly balls. And I would say of the two, you know, d'Arnaud to me seems like the more athletic.
Herrera takes another one up the middle. This one a little harder struck than the first, and he's 2 for 2, and the Mets have a couple of men on.
And I say that because d'Arnaud has a little more speed than Plawecki. Nice to see Dilson Herrera with 2 knocks here in the game, both up the middle. When you struggle, what does a young hitter work on? Just taking the ball back up the box. Twice in a row here for Dilson.
So we'll see what the Mets do here with DeGrom with 2 men aboard. Now, if you go back to the start of his career last year, DeGrom started out 10 for 35, so he was a .286 hitter at that point. He was 0 for his last 11 last year, 0 for his first 10 this year, so he's 0 for 21 since that 10 for 35 start. The Orioles look for the bunt. And he's ready to swing, and he flies one to left center. Over comes Jones when it drops in for a base hit, and everybody moves up a base. It's like a little bit of confusion there between Jones and Lowe, and DeGrom able to drop one in for his first hit of the year. And the Mets have the bases loaded.
Well, Machado was playing so shallow that DeGrom decided to swing the bat and got lucky here, really. Just dropped it perfectly in between Lowe and Adam Jones. That ball, a dying quail that just found a patch of grass. Good running by Herrera also and Plawecki.
That's how you snap an 0 for 21. So a chance for the Mets to add to their lead with Curtis Granderson, who homered his last time up, his second of the year. His first time up, he hit one of the fence in right field that was caught. And the Orioles a little confused on how they're going to play their infield. Ubaldo Jimenez seems blissfully unaware as his infielders move around, and Granderson takes low and inside. Cabrera, the shortstop, moved 3 different times while Jimenez was getting ready to throw that pitch.
Here's the base running by Plawecki, and Herrera read it really well. He got close enough that he would not be forced out at second base.
In the dirt, and Joseph stops it, and now Jimenez behind 2-0.
To go back to the shift, that's why, you know, you hear a lot of people telling you about how this is a science. Well, it's not a science when you have 3 infielders out of position, looking at the bench, trying to decide where they're supposed to stand. So it's not there yet.
And the catcher, Joseph, didn't call time, and Jimenez was looking in for a sign and ready to pitch. Granderson takes inside, and now it's 3-0, and Jimenez is in a very difficult corner. We get some warm-up action in that Baltimore bullpen. 7, 8, and 9 hitters with base hits to load the bases with 1 out. Now 3-0 to Granderson. He's been known to swing on 3-0. And he does, and he fouls it off.
The guys that have had a history, Garris on deck, of hitting home runs, what, 84 in 2 seasons. Once they barrel one up, sometimes they go in streaks.
3-1 coming. And Granderson takes a borderline strike. He thought maybe he had ball 4 and a run.
It's that fastball that comes a little bit back over the inside part of the plate. Good framing by Joseph.
Brian O'Nora, the home plate umpire, gives Jimenez the call. Now it's 3-2. Brad Brock up in the bullpen for Baltimore. Jimenez has gone from 3-0 to 3-2. And Granderson flies one to left center. That'll get a run in. Tagging Plawecki. Lowe makes the catch. Sacrifice fly for Granderson. And the Mets have a 3-0 lead. Second RBI of the night for Curtis.
Well, this is nice to see in this ball game. He had a 2-out RBI by Herrera. Here, a nice situational at bat by Granderson. Works the count full and gets that ball deep enough for Plawecki to score. And everyone does what they're supposed to. Off the bat, what do you do if you're Plawecki? Get back to third base quickly. Watch that ball and tag. Herrera going halfway just in case, and he gets back to the bag, as does the runner on first.
So the Mets have scored in 3 straight innings. Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, out to talk to Jimenez, who has been virtually unscathed this season, but now has been tagged for 3 runs. And so Brock, the Monmouth University product, getting himself ready in a hurry. 2 out and 2 on for Lagares, who's grounded out to third and fly to center tonight, 0 for 2. Herrera now at second, DeGrom at first. You know, it's funny, normally you think of American League pitchers coming into National League parks having an advantage facing bottoms of orders. Well, the Mets 7, 8, and 9 hitters tonight, 4 for 5.
Wow. Hanging slider there too, missed by Lagares. Gary, this is one of those hits by a team that can break the morale, not only the opposing team but the opposing pitcher.
He's about to throw his 85th pitch, working with 2 out in the 4th inning. Threw only 89 in 7 innings against the White Sox his last time out. Fly ball into left center, and Adam Jones right there. And that retires a side, but the Mets tack on a run on Granderson's sacrifice fly. After 4, 3-0 New York. And they've had a lot of indecision over the years about how to denote that bird on their caps.
I didn't know that starting in '66 they invented the emoji, the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, amazing, right?
Now, they went to the ornithologically correct bird for about 2 decades there, and then they went back to the cartoon bird in 2012, and I think a lot of Orioles fans are very happy about that.
Yeah, I love that hat. I think that hat's a great hat.
Now, I did not know that they had actually done a bee hat.
That's right.
Back
I didn't know
in the
that
50s.
either.
Of course, the St. Louis Browns were the second team to move in the Great Migration of the 50s. The Boston Braves moved to Milwaukee in '53. That was the first move and kind of opened the floodgates. The A's moved to Kansas City and Philadelphia in 1955. Eventually, the Giants and Dodgers moved west in '58. Caleb Joseph leading off in the 5th against Jacob DeGrom. Everett Cabrera on deck. And Joseph tries to hold, but he went around on the curveball by DeGrom. And it's 0-2. Joseph grounded out his first time up. That's 11 swings and misses for DeGrom. So that's as many as he had in his last 2 starts combined. And really back to normal for Jake. And he gets the foul tip for strike 3. Strikeout number 7 for DeGrom, who is very much back in form tonight.
He really is, and he's doing it, most of it, especially right-handed hitters, on the bottom of the strike zone. Getting ahead and throwing pitches out of the strike zone. It's got to make his dad happy.
So 1 out and nobody on. Now Everett Cabrera, who had a comebacker his first time up. And for the moment, Ubaldo Jimenez is out on deck to bat for himself as Cabrera gets hit by the pitch.
Hit him right in the foot. He squared to bunt, and you could, if you're the manager, you could see, did he take the bat back in time? He squares to bunt. He's trying to bunt for a base hit. Okay, it hits him in the foot. Does he take the bat back? Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
If you offer at the pitch, even if you're hit, it's a strike. And now Jimenez has been called back to the dugout. We're going to get a pinch hitter. You see Cabrera take it off the left foot.
Interesting, that foot, half of it was in the box, half of it was out of the box.
So Ubaldo Jimenez is done after 4 innings. Travis Snider will bat for him. Snider started last night in left field, went 1 for 4. See, Colon didn't walk anybody last night. DeGrom hasn't walked anybody today. Met pitcher still stuck on 51 walks this year in 240 innings, which is extraordinary. There goes Cabrera. That's drilled into right field. A base hit for Snider. Cabrera went sliding into second after getting deep by Flores, but he's able to get up and go to third base anyway. So runners at the corners with 1 out.
Well, this pitch is not a bad pitch. It's that cutter inside to lefties. It was up just a little bit, jammed Snider, but strong enough to get that ball out in the outfield. And this is the 3rd time the Orioles have run trying to steal a base. Cabrera lost the baseball because he was trying to steal that base, but picked it up finally and moved on to third.
So the Orioles get a runner to third base for the first time tonight. And in a 3-0 game, Alejandro De Aza will come to the plate as the tying run. De Aza struck out, reached on a wild pitch in the first, then had a bunt single in the third. Cabrera at third, Snider aboard at first with 1 out. 4 hits now for the Orioles.
Double play depth up the middle. Duda's got to hold him on right in the outfield. Deep on the corners, Lagares playing his shallow center field.
Mets have already turned 1 double play tonight. De Aza, a tough man to double up. And he tries a drag bunt. Runner holding at third. DeGrom throws behind him, and Cabrera is out. Murphy inadvertently blocked him off the bag and was able to tag him. I'm not sure that's what Murph had in mind, but it worked. And the Mets get the out at third base.
Well, Buck Showalter is going to come out and ask the umpire on third base, Jeff Kellogg, if there was obstruction with Murphy blocking the base and getting the throw. It'll be interesting. Buck's trying to figure out how he's going to, in lawyerese, get this through. I don't like this play at all, especially when he has some power. But nice play by DeGrom to get that ball, and Murph just standing right in the baseline. It'll be an interesting call.
Now, I don't believe that you can challenge based on obstruction. You can only challenge based on whether he was tagged out in time.
But you could ask the umpires to get together,
yes,
right?
That you can do, but I don't believe you can challenge on a non-obstruction call.
I mean, Murph's in
clearly
the
he's out.
Yeah, Murph's definitely out.
Yeah, so I don't think Buck has a challenge available to him. All he had was the power of persuasion to Jeff Kellogg, and that didn't work. So the Mets get an unlikely out.
It just was an awkward play because Murph left his position, didn't get back. Well, what happened on the bunt, Murphy's probably trying to charge a little bit, and as he went back to his position, just ended up in the wrong position.
Yeah, it was an inadvertent play by Murphy, but it worked. Murph is the author of many a strange play in the field, and that was one of them, and it worked in favor of the Mets. Jeff Kellogg, not only the third base umpire, but the crew chief of this unit, making the call. So 2 out and 2 on, and now Jimmy Paredes, the number 2 hitter, and again a big batter for DeGrom with Adam Jones looming on deck. He struck out Paredes his last time up, and he gets ahead of him with a fastball.
Now another heads-up play by a Mets pitcher on the defense. This is a play that you're not ready for as a pitcher. You're trying to get a double play or maybe a strikeout. Instead, you get a bunt back to you, and you have to know what you're going to do with the ball before it gets to you.
Now, my question would be, did Cabrera know that De Aza was planning to bunt, or was that something De Aza did on his own? That's pulled through the hole, a base hit. Snyder to third. He's being waved home. Granderson's throw goes to second. It's an RBI single for Paredes, and the Orioles are on the board. It's now 3-1, and they'll have the tying runs on base for Adam Jones. So Paredes drives in his 11th run of the year. And all of a sudden, DeGrom finds himself in a delicate position with the American League's leading hitter coming up, and Dan Warthen will come out to talk.
Well, we talked about the first time through the lineup, and then second and third and fourth time through the lineup. Jacob has struggled of late.
Let's go back to that bunt and look at the runner at third. Cabrera, was he expecting this?
Well, I think what happened is that once he saw him square around, he was playing it like a safety squeeze. If DeGrom decides to go to first base, I'll just come and take home. But DeGrom was heads up.
But my question is, was it a designed safety squeeze?
I don't think it was the designed safety
because
squeeze.
Normally you're going to follow that third baseman home, but Murph never charged.
You're down 3-0. You have a guy with power at the plate. If he makes an out, then Jones does not come to the plate if you don't get a base hit. So I don't think you'd ever do that as a design play.
So now you got De Aza at third, Paredes at first, carrying the tying run, and Adam Jones, whom the Mets have held in check so far in this series. He struck out and grounded to short tonight. And Jones fouls it back. And that's what Adam Jones was doing coming into the day. Top 4 in the American League in all those categories. Had a 4-hit game on Sunday in their last game down in Tampa Bay, but just 1 for 6 so far in this series.
Obviously a much wanted player.
Ball and a strike to Jones. Showing those orange stripes on his black socks.
Jones is an interesting hitter, is that you'd like to get him out inside, not let him extend his arms, but he occasionally looks in there and is quick. Now this is we've gone what, a couple of hours in this game, almost an hour and a half. Biggest pitch of the game right here.
Two and one to Adam Jones. And he comes inside with a fastball, and now it's 3-1. A walk to Jones would load the bases and bring up the power of Chris Davis. So DeGrom walking a fine line here in the 5th inning. behind 3-1. And he goes off speed and misses for ball 4. So he pitched like he wanted no part of Adam Jones. And now he'll have to face Chris Davis with the bases loaded. That's the first walk given up in this series by a Mets pitcher. And bullpen quiet. 77 pitches for DeGrom, 2 out of the 5th.
Interesting, we showed the numbers before. He's handled right-handers. He's really been hurt by left-handers this year. The one maybe small advantage you have if you're DeGrom is Davis does strike out a lot.
Flores playing 60 feet off the line. He got a very fast man at third at De Aza, who could take advantage if he wants. And Davis takes the fastball high. DeGrom has dominated Davis so far tonight, struck him out twice. Buddy Carlisle quickly to work in the Mets bullpen. See where Flores is playing way off the line, and De Aza at third can take as many liberties as he wishes. And now DeGrom struggling to throw strikes.
I remember last night when Jeurys Familia came in, he gave up that home run to Davis. Plawecki went out there and kind of settled them down. Hopefully it'll work. It worked last night. Hopefully it'll work tonight with DeGrom.
He fell behind the next batter, Delman Young, 2-0, just as DeGrom has fallen behind Davis 2-0. And that drew the visit from Plawecki. De Aza at third, Paredes at second, Jones at first. They can all run. DeGrom behind Davis, a power hitter, 2-0. And he takes a rip and fouls off the slider, 2-1.
Well, that's been his go-to pitch, left-handers when he's behind, that little cutter slider that he's been using so far in this game.
Sean Gilmartin joins Buddy Carlisle in the Mets bullpen. Thoughtful time for Jacob DeGrom. Two and one to Chris Davis. And it's inside, ball 3. Well, he just walked Jones to fill the bases. And now behind on Davis, 3-1 with Manny Machado on deck. DeGrom was fairly spotless through the first 4 innings. He's got a big pitch to make now. And he threw the fastball by Davis, 3-2.
Added a little bit on that outside pitch. But again, they're looking inside. This ball runs back over the outside part of the plate. You can get him up and away. That is his blind spot. They have not used it much until then.
De Aza, Paredes, and Jones will all be running. 3-2 to Davis. Struck him out. Jacob DeGrom gets the big out. 8 strikeouts tonight for DeGrom. Third time he's gotten Davis. The Orioles score 1, but strand 3 halfway through. 3-1 New York. got a 2-inning line.
Game's too close.
New right fielder for the Orioles, Travis Snyder, who got a pinch hit, stays in right field. The new pitcher, Brad Brock, will hit in the #1 spot in the order.
Well, I remember seeing him with the San Diego Padres. Brad Brock from New Jersey. Throws 3/4, got a good slider, changeup, sinking fastball.
Grew up in Springsteen country in Freehold.
There you go.
Went to Monmouth University. He's a Hawk. Lucas Duda leads off against Brock. Ubaldo Jimenez out after 4 innings. He allowed 3 runs and 6 hits. Duda grounded out and flied out against Jimenez, who walked 2 and struck out only 1 tonight. Full shift on against Duda. And Brock keeping it inside on him. 2-0. Michael Kadire on deck, and then Daniel Murphy for the Mets in the home 5th. Fouled away, and it's 2-1. Jacob DeGrom did very well in that top of the 5th to limit the damage to 1 run. Duda cranks one out to left field. Room for low. And that's the first out. Well, we're trying to do a little promotional thing here, okay? You know the Zach Brown Band is coming to Citi Field to play a concert, and they just added a second show August 22nd. So the Zach Brown Band's big hit is called Chicken Fried. So they figured they'd send us some fried chicken from the Tribeca Grill. Now, this is a classic Easterners mistake about a Southern tradition.
That's right. I mean, I didn't know anything about chicken fried anything until I was sent to Tulsa, Oklahoma, which played in Shreveport, Little Rock, Arkansas, and other towns. And everything for breakfast, they would have eggs with chicken fried steak, chicken fried chicken, whatever.
Now, chicken fried steak, just in case you know you've never been in that part of the world, you take cube steak, milk, eggs, flour, cayenne, salt, pepper, little paprika.
Got to pound it.
Got to pound it, right? Got a little oil, a little butter. It's not exactly a low-calorie dish.
That's right.
And it tastes delicious.
Yes, it does.
But it has nothing to do with fried chicken.
But
at the same time, this fried chicken that we just got from Tribeca Grill, which is in the Delta 360 Club, it's delicious.
Yeah, it looks outstanding.
So,
I can't wait to bite into that.
I'm perfectly happy that they made this error and sent us up the fried chicken in honor of the Zach Brown Band and their song Chicken Fried. Did we get all that in?
We did.
Is that like the perfect promotional announcement?
I think so. But there's nothing like anything from Tribeca Grill. I remember when they first started, I was still playing, and I used to go there with Rusty and Keith all the time for dinner. Drew Nieperant and his restaurant group, they have Nobu and other great restaurants. So
Kadire down on strikes, so Brock has retired the first 2. By the way, tickets for that August 22nd Zach Brown Band show go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. at Mets.com/ZBB. So 2 out and nobody on. Now Daniel Murphy. Murphy's popped to short and flied to right, 0 for 2. Your JetBlue 5th inning recap. Curtis Granderson homered in the 3rd. Dilson Herrera has a couple of hits and has driven in a run. Jacob DeGrom has done the rest. Paredes in front of the ground ball. Brock comes in and throws a 1-2-3 bottom of the 5th. So that'll send us off to the 6th here at Citi Field. DeGrom back to the mound with a 3-1 lead. Bird, who couldn't buy a hit the first 3 weeks of the season and now is hitting them out of the ballpark.
He and Todd Frazier keeping that team afloat.
Manny Machado leads off in the 6th inning against Jacob DeGrom. Machado has 2 of the 5 Baltimore hits tonight, and he takes a fastball for a strike. Machado singled to left in the 2nd, singled to center in the 4th, and each time stole a base. Ball gets loose out in right field. Ball boy does his duty. DeGrom about to throw his 85th pitch of the night. And it's lined right at Dilson Herrera. Had him played perfectly. And he throws out Machado, who's retired for the first time tonight.
Well, we were talking about the shift before. Well, this is perfect with Herrera playing Machado up the middle. And this ball right over the head of the pitcher and right at the second baseman. Can't be positioned any better than that.
Well, DeGrom's only at 85 pitches, but he threw a lot of those under duress in the last inning, so the Mets are going to get the bullpen cranking. Alex Torres is up now as DeGrom faces David Lowe. The Mets might be quite satisfied if DeGrom can just get himself through this 6th inning.
I agree 100% with you, Gary. The numbers might say that he's still throwing pretty hard, but he's had to throw a lot of cutters, a lot of change-ups. And I don't think he has that real good fastball tonight.
Had good movement on that last changeup to Lowe. Ball and a strike. And a slowly hit grinder for Flores. Lowe can run, so Flores hurries and gets him by half a stride, 2 out.
Well, good footwork here. And he also knew he had to get rid of it quick. That's perfect right there.
So DeGrom, after a laborious 5th inning, retires the first 2 easily in the 6th, and now will face Caleb Joseph, who's grounded out and struck out 0 for 2. Joseph 0 for 6 in this series with 4 strikeouts, and DeGrom gets ahead of him. Well, after watching DeGrom struggle at Yankee Stadium, struggle against the Nats last Thursday, this has been a very refreshing night for DeGrom. One of the things we liked so much about him last year was his ability to keep his calm in trouble, and never better than in that last inning.
Yeah, and keep his composure, which I think he lost a little in his last start. Another good changeup. But frustration is going to happen for any young pitcher when things don't go exactly your way. That's when you start to become a pitcher, not a thrower.
1-2 to Joseph. Tied him up inside. Did he go? He went around. Strike 3. Strikeout number 9 for Jacob DeGrom, and he gets the Orioles 1-2-3 in the top of the 6th. Still 3-1 New York. Both these teams have a Gold Glover. Well, the Orioles used to have one named Paul Blair, who was just an extraordinary center fielder.
Well, he was one of those guys like Lagares that just played so shallow, daring you to hit the ball over his head. Those are all the Gold Glove winners for the Orioles in those days.
Bobby Grich, Brooks Robinson, and Mark Belanger along with Paul Blair.
Blair won 8 Gold Gloves, 7 of them consecutively.
Adam Jones has won 4 Gold Gloves. Tommy Agee won a Gold Glove for the Mets, and Agee and Blair squared off in the '69 World Series, and I'd say that Agee had the better of it in terms of the spectacular catches with those 2 great plays he made in Game 3 of that '69 series. Juan Lagares dreaming of the day that he can make his great World Series catch. As the Mets lost the first game of that series.
Look at the time of game.
Don Buford led off the first game with a home run off Tom Seaver, and every Met fan thought, no, that's it. But they were remarkable. Won Game 2 in Baltimore, and then all 3 at Shea Stadium. To me, the most important one of those was the Game 4 win. Seaver started. Swoboda made the great catch.
That's right.
And in the 9th inning, the Orioles were able to tie it, but the Mets won it on the bunt by J.C. Martin in the 10th. The throw from the pitcher hit Martin in the back. He was probably out of the lane, didn't get called for it. Rod Gasper scored the winning run. Mets went up 3-1, and they won it all the next day.
Brooks Robinson is the one who hit the baseball to right field. That the Rock made the catch on. Frank Robinson tagged up from third.
And the thing is, you know, Rocky was a great folk hero. Ron Swoboda we're talking about. But he was not exactly an outfielder in the manner of a Tommy Agee or a Paul Blair. And that's what made his catch all the more stunning.
A remarkable catch. Came out of nowhere. Like he was shot out of a cannon.
He was parallel to the ground and caught it right before it hit the grass. If he misses that ball, it's a whole different World Series. Flores lays off, and it's a full count to Wilmer, who's 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out and grounded out. By the way, speaking of great center fielders, as you look at Alex Torres in the bullpen, happy birthday wishes today to the great Willie Mays, who turns 84 years old. And with apologies to all the folks we just mentioned, as Flores walks, the greatest center fielder I've ever seen.
Yeah. Wow. You know, I never got to see Willie Mays play live, ever. Saw him on TV, but more towards the end of his career.
Right. Well, as a Met, when things were going downhill, but you know, Willie started his career in New York and was a beloved child of the city, playing for the Giants before they shipped out west. Here's Kevin Plawecki, who's walked and had a base hit, scored a run. Flores at first and nobody out.
Interesting shot we saw there of a little bit of that shift we saw before against Plawecki. Now he's only been in the big leagues. This is his 12th start, and already Machado way off that line at third. He hit one past him in his previous at bat.
Between Machado and the line. And you can understand that because Plawecki has hit a lot of balls to right field early in his tenure, but he's also, the last few days, drilled some balls to left.
He has, and also the pitch from Jimenez was a breaking pitch. That tends to make you think that Brock's not going to throw one over the middle of the plate that's breaking, because he'll tend to pull that.
Brock's best pitch is his changeup, which he doesn't throw quite as much to the right-hand hitters. Dilson Herrera on deck. And Plawecki takes a fastball for a strike, 1-1. Herrera, the number 8 hitter. DeGrom behind him, and know whether Jacob's going to get another inning or not. Alex Torres throwing like he means it in the Mets bullpen.
Be very surprised if you saw any kind of hit and run, only because we've seen Herrera get a couple of hits, but you know, he hasn't been red hot. Plawecki's been one of your better hitters. Let him take a swing.
Plawecki making his 12th start tonight. And a check swing roller. Paredes is going to have to go to first. Almost ran up his arm, but he throws out Plawecki for the first out as Flores moves up.
Well, check swing here by Plawecki off the end of the bat. Had a lot of spin on it. I think casually played here by Paredes, and he almost played it into a hit, or at least an error. So he just one-handed it, and the ball hit on the bottom of his glove, and luckily came back into it.
Almost painfully. So a runner in scoring position for Dilson Herrera, who's already 2 for 2 tonight. 2 base hits up the middle. One of them drove in a run. Johnny Manel has come out on deck to bat for Jacob DeGrom. Manel just called up yesterday, the 3rd catcher for the Mets, and giving them an additional left-hand bat on the bench. Set to make his Mets debut. And that runs inside to Herrera, 1-1. So Jacob DeGrom done after 6 innings. Had that very difficult 5th where he limited the damage to 1 run through 92 pitches over 6 innings tonight. And so that's hit in the air to deep left field by Herrera. Back toward the wall, goes low. That ball is off the top of the fence. It's in play. Coming in to score is Flores, and in at second with a double is Dilson Herrera. And the Mets now have a 4-1 lead. Now the question is, did it hit the railing above the orange line? Terry Collins wants to know.
I mean, when I saw it, I thought it hit the railing, hit the top of the fence, and came back. Yeah, it did. Yep. Exactly.
It appears that that is going to be ruled a 2-run homer. Yep, no question about it. It hit the railing. So Herrera is going to have a home run once they review this. And the umpires are going to the headsets, and the fans here just saw the replay on the big screen, and unquestionably Dilson Herrera is going to get credit for a 2-run homer. So a big night for Herrera.
Herrera, correct me if I'm wrong, Gary, had 3 last year in his little amount of time. Got an inside fastball and lifted it to left field.
This should not take long. Home run.
Here we go.
So Herrera's first home run of the year, his 3rd hit of the night. It's a 3 RBI game for Herrera, and it's 5-1 New York. Well, we saw the power from Dilson last year. He's not a big guy, but he can pack a punch. And he takes Brad Brock deep for the Mets' 2nd home run of the night.
Now, I don't know what Buck Showalter would be arguing about here.
He might be arguing that Johnny Manel was announced into the game because Manel was out on deck and Jacob DeGrom is now coming to bat, and that might be Buck's contention.
Okay, that's a good call, Gary. I didn't even realize that DeGrom would come back out on deck in the batter's box.
Now we're going to get a meeting amongst the umpires. Now, part of the problem with this is that when the ball goes off the wall and
there's a delay.
There's a delay, and so the question is, did the umpires officially signal Manel into the game? And they're consulting with one another right now, and I have to imagine that's what they're talking about.
Well, it's not only that, but in the delay sometimes you will even, maybe the announcer announce Johnny Manel into the game. That can happen.
Well, the public address announcer is not supposed to announce the player's name until the umpire signals that the player is in the game. Now, would the umpires have done that before the video review of the home run?
They should not have, but they could have. But they could have. But they could have. I mean, I think that's what they're talking about now, is that, you know, I signaled the guy in. What are we going to do here?
Well, they're taking a long time trying to figure it out. Brian O'Nora is the home plate umpire. It would be his responsibility to signal Manel into the game. Jeff Kellogg on the right there is the crew chief.
And I don't think Jacob DeGrom's going to stay in the game. You just don't want to blow a pinch hitter here. I think he's going to take his at bat, and I think you're going to keep Manel till later with the 5-1 lead. I still don't think DeGrom's going to go back on the mound.
Well, let's see how they resolve this.
It doesn't look like Buck's going to like their answer, by the way.
Well, they're not waving DeGrom away, so it appears the Mets are going to get the better of this and get what they want here, which is DeGrom taking another at bat. They don't deal with this problem in the American League often.
No, they don't. And Buck is as buttoned up as any manager in all of baseball. Nothing's going to get by him.
Meanwhile, his pitcher, Brad Brock, is throwing in some warm-up pitches. We had the brief delay as they reviewed the Herrera home run, and now a further delay with Showalter arguing his case. Mets home run means $2,000 for an NYC community partner, courtesy of Citi. Well, at some point, the umpires have to say that's just the way it is.
But you know, you can see Buck Showalter what he's trying to do, and that is that he sees two players being used here instead of really none. Right. If DeGrom hits and doesn't pitch.
Well, I don't know whether DeGrom's going to pitch the top of the 7th, but Terry Collins keeps himself that option now. Now he has a 5-1 lead. And DeGrom, who had a base hit in the 4th inning, fouls away the first pitch. So a leadoff walk to Wilmer Flores. Dilson Herrera, a 2-run homer, and the Mets have tacked on 2 here in the 6th. There's the changeup from Brock, and he gets ahead 0-2. So the Mets with 2 home runs tonight. Curtis Granderson hit his 2nd of the year in the 3rd, and now Dilson Herrera with his 1st of the season. A big night for Herrera. Another changeup from Brock, and DeGrom goes around. Strike 3. Second strikeout for Brock. And now it's Granderson, who's driven in 2 runs tonight with a home run and a sacrifice fly. So Granderson has hit 2 home runs this year, and they've both been against American League teams. One at Yankee Stadium and the one here against the Orioles. He now has 22 career home runs against the Orioles. There's only one team he's hit more against, and that's the Twins. He has 23. Ball and a strike to Curtis.
And he did a lot of that when he was with the Tigers.
And with the Yankees.
Tigers and Yankees.
Right. More division games with the Tigers.
It's that changeup you're talking about, Gary. Brock's got a good one.
So DeGrom putting the jacket back on, and we'll see whether he takes the mound for the 7th. Alex Torres has sat down, so perhaps Jake will start the inning.
I think the strangest game at bat I ever took as a pitcher was I had to face Rob Dibble in a game and got a hit and drove in a run. And when I got to the bench after the 3 outs were made, Davey said that's enough. Took me out of the game. So my hitting was much better that game than my pitching.
Granderson goes around for strike 3. I thought you were going to say Dibble, you know, yelled at you. Well, Jacob DeGrom now has a bigger lead to work with. Dilson Herrera, upon review, has his first home run of the season. A 3-hit, 3 RBI night for Herrera, and a 5-1 Met lead after 6. Cardinals matchup Friday night. Jonathan Neese and Aaron Herrera on Saturday night. Dylan G against Chad Billingsley, just his second start on Sunday afternoon. Everett Cabrera leads off for the Orioles in the 7th. Jacob DeGrom still out there chucking, 92 pitches deep. And Cabrera fouls one off, and we check in with Steve Gelbs for more on the Phillies. Steve?
Gary, the story with the Phillies right now is the incredibly steep decline of Chase Utley this season. Last year, you can make the case he was the most valuable second baseman in the National League. His 4.5 wins above replacement led all NL second baseman. This year, you could make the argument he is the worst offensive player in all of baseball in terms of position players. His batting average 103, by far the worst in the majors, and his his OPS also worse in the majors, as Flores makes the play there and Duda stays on the bag. So a nice play by the Mets, 1 out for the Orioles in the inning right here. But back to Chase Utley for a second, and speaking of Wilmer Flores, he's kind of getting the Flores treatment right now. Didn't play yesterday, not playing today. The Phillies have an off day tomorrow. The Phillies want him to clear his head a little bit. He should play on Friday against Matt Harvey, a guy that he's actually had some success against, batting .400, 6 for 15 with 1 home run. That home run coming this year, April 14th, against the Mets. He's played in 17 games since, though, only has 4 total hits in that time.
Meanwhile, what a play by Lucas Duda, saving Flores an error.
I mean, it was almost like you know when you watch those Olympic ski jumpers and they jump off and they lean forward like that. He kept that angle and able to make the catch.
The Mets at one time, as Buddy Carlisle gets ready in the bullpen, had a catcher converted to a first baseman named Jason Phillips, and he was very awkward around first base, but he made plays like that all the time. Murphy catches the foul pop up from Snyder for the second out. Well, there you see what Chase Utley's done this year. A lot has gone bad for the Phillies. The one thing that's gone right for the Phillies, they let Jimmy Rollins go. They sent him off to the Dodgers. And his replacement, Freddie Galvis, has played really well. So while the second baseman, Utley, has not, the shortstop, Galvis, has been a bright spot.
Kevin Gausman up in the bullpen for the Orioles, but Hamels has not been great. Their best pitcher has been Aaron Herrera.
This is Ray Navarro to pinch hit. Navarro, a switch hitter, played a little second base for the Orioles. And takes a strike. Navarro batting for the pitcher, who's in the #1 spot in the batting order. So DeGrom about to throw his 100th pitch of the night. Terry Collins decided to give him an extra inning, and DeGrom looking like he's still got something left. 2 balls and a strike. I would imagine if he doesn't get Navarro out, this would probably be his last batter.
Good changeup. That grip, good speed, good movement.
Into right field, a base hit for Navarro, and that keeps the inning alive for the Orioles, and we'll see whether Terry Collins will give him one more batter. Apparently so. And Jimmy Paredes will come up. Buddy Carlisle ready to go if needed in the Mets bullpen. So Paredes, who drove in the only Baltimore run with a 5th inning single, comes to bat with 2 out and a runner aboard. 6 hits now for the Orioles against DeGrom, who's walked 1, hit 1, and struck out 9. Now it's Torres up alongside Buddy Carlisle. That's a nice shot, isn't it?
Yeah, nice angle. I never even knew they had the NY crest there for the Mets in between the pitchers. That's pretty cool.
Is this the most changeups we've seen DeGrom throw in a game?
Most changeups, most cutter, slider. Really mixing up his pitches. Had to be part of his game plan with this evening's game against the Orioles.
104 pitches, a season high for Jacob. And Paredes saws one off to short. And Flores with the overhand gun throws him out to end the inning. So DeGrom makes his way through 7, 105 pitches, a season high, and he leaves having allowed only 1 run. 5-1 Mets. That 18 swings and misses tonight, far more than in his last 2 starts combined. There's your People's United Bank pitching comparison. Ubaldo Jimenez, who came in hot, left cold. DeGrom, who came in cold, leaves hot. 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. By the way, last 5 games for the Mets, first 1 time through the rotation, 33 2/3 innings, 4 runs.
Incredible. And if they win this ball game, they'll be 3-2 in the last 5 games.
They have to score.
Yeah, yes, you do.
Hard throwing Kevin Gausman comes out of the Baltimore bullpen.
Well, he was 7-7 last year and 20 starts for the Orioles. First round pick out of Louisiana State University. They've been waiting for him to make his mark. He's got a great fastball, great promise.
He's had a tough year coming out of the bullpen so far. Almost a 1.5 whip, 11 hits and 5 walks in just 11 innings. Juan Lagares leads off in the home 7th. Lagares 0 for 3 tonight, 0 for 7 in this series. It'll be Lagares, Duda, and Kadire. Mets have scored in 4 different innings tonight. And they've put up 5 runs, which is not a huge total, but when you consider the Mets have gone 10 games without scoring as many as 5 runs, Terry Collins will be quite satisfied tonight. Late swing foul, and it's 1-1. Last time the Mets scored 5 or more in a game was at Yankee Stadium.
Sorry.
That was the game Matt Harvey won, the Saturday game.
Went 8 2/3, right?
Carlos Torres up in the Mets bullpen. And Lagares down swinging at the fastball to chip that, 2nd strike.
That's a game that Matt Harvey said, give me this hitter. One more hitter.
He didn't get that hitter. 2-2 now to Lagares.
It'll be speckled Gausman. Just waiting for his secondary pitchers to catch up with that 97-mile-an-hour heat.
Colorado kid who played his college baseball in Louisiana. Not sure how that works.
I know.
Full count to Lagares.
Can you pick up the Raging Cajun? Can you spend enough time down there that you can speak like you're from Louisiana?
Maybe you can learn how to make gumbo.
There you go.
If not chicken fried steak. Lagares hits one well to center field. His counterpart Jones, though, gets back to grab it. 1 away. Tomorrow, get a breakdown of tonight's Rangers-Capitals Game 4, plus all the latest from the Mets and Yankees on Daily News Live, presented by Citi. Tomorrow at 5, only on SNY. One out now, Lucas Duda, who's 0 for 3 tonight.
I'm just thinking, Gary, those numbers you were talking about with the starting staff. You know, it's interesting that most of those starts have come with the rookie behind the plate. And that really says something about Kevin Plawecki, doesn't it? That not that, you know, he's responsible for this, but he hasn't missed a beat, or the pitchers haven't missed a beat with him behind the plate.
Well, it's always helpful when you have a catcher join a team who was with the team in spring training, caught everybody on the team, has a pretty good sense, and acquired that during spring training, a pretty good sense of how each guy likes to approach things.
Talking to some folks, they mentioned that Plawecki has a real baseball intelligence, able to pick up things very quickly, which is very important for catchers in the game today. It's given so much information.
Well, you know what his family would say. They'd say, it's a Boilermaker. Those Purdue guys, they've got it on the ball. Mentioned that when first came up, that his mom and his dad, his sister, and grandparents, they all went to Purdue, as did Kevin, where he was Big Ten Player of the Year. Splitter in the dirt, 2-2 to Duda. Gosman's got the goods. 99-mile-an-hour fastball. He's got the split, the slider.
Whenever I think of Louisiana pitcher for the Orioles, I think of Ben McDonald.
He was the #1 overall pick.
Yes, he was.
And there's that gas to strike out Duda for the second out.
Just enough splitters to keep him honest, and then just lets it fly. That sinking action on that fastball.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now Michael Kadire, 1 for 2 and a walk. His hit was an infield single in the third. He scored a run tonight. Mets 5 runs and 7 hits. The Orioles 1 run and 6 hits. The Mets have hit a couple of home runs tonight. Granderson and Herrera. Last night it was the Orioles with the home runs. The Mets came into the night 12th in the National League in home runs. Dyer shoots one down the right field line, foul.
Well, you know, Grandy only hit his second tonight. Duda hasn't gotten, you know, his home run swing. He only has 2. David out of the lineup.
Darno is going to hit some home runs. Not here right now. Plawecki more of a line drive hitter than Darno. 1-2 to Kadire. And also, generally, as the weather warms up here at Citi Field, it becomes a little friendlier for home run hitters.
Well, it's interesting today in Washington. You know, we talked about Bryce Harper hitting 3 home runs, but the ball was jumping out of that ballpark. Extremely hot and humid down there today.
It's supposed to be hot this weekend in Philly.
It's good.
And here in New York. And then we'll get back to winter when we go to Chicago.
It's supposed to be really cold, but didn't you guys go there a few years ago, you and Keith, and it was just so cold?
Middle of May, same time of year, and it was freezing. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by DraftKings. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com with the official daily fantasy partner of the New York Mets. Enter promo code NYM for free entry and claim your share of $300 million this MLB season. Gausman ahead on Kadire, 1-2. And Michael grounds one foul. Seventh pitch of the at bat. And there'll be an 8th.
So that split finger by Gausman. Good sinking action on both pitch. Split finger in the fastball.
Third Orioles pitcher of the night, Ubaldo Jimenez, left after 4 innings. Brad Brock worked 2, gave up the 2-run homer to Herrera. And now Gausman in the 7th. 2-2 to Kadire.
Think there'll be a lot of Met fans down in Philadelphia this weekend?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think tickets are much more widely available these days at Citizens Bank Park. Used to be very hard for Met fans to get a ticket when the Phillies were in their 5-year stretch of winning the division every year.
Got Harvey going on Friday night against Hamels.
I think you might see a lot of blue and orange. 10th pitch of the at-bat coming to Kadire. And he goes down on the fastball to end the inning. So Gausman with a couple of strikeouts sets the Mets down 1-2-3. Mets will go to the bullpen for the 8th, leading at 5-1.
Think you have what it takes to outsmart the brains of the booth and win $5,000? Then come to Citi Field for SNY's open audition for Beat the Booth presented by Citi, Saturday, May 16th, starting at 9 a.m.
Now, here's my question,
Yes.
because I've not actually heard an answer to this as Carlos Torres comes in to pitch the 8th inning for New York. Are folks coming in pairs to compete as teams to see who faces us, or is it individuals who will then be put together into teams?
I think that it's going to be individual, that they'll come here and they will take the best and the brightest. Oh, well, I'm absolutely wrong. They're coming as pairs.
Oh, we got a ruling from the booth?
Yes, from the production truck. Greg Picker, our producer. Thanks, Greg. I'm sorry about that.
It took him about 3 seconds to shoot you down there.
Yeah, well, I'm only wrong 1,000 times a year, so that's 200 right there.
Okay, so you got teams of people. So, this is going to be like bridge partners. They're going to be
there you go.
A little silent communication.
Don't renege.
So I need to work something out with Howie, like if I don't know. Let me think. If Rube Walker's name comes up, I'll just say you're a pitching coach.
Oh, there you go. That'll make Howie mad and happy at the same time. It's going to be interesting to see that because, everyone admires you and Howie so much, and you and Howie have that great teamwork anyways, working together all those years. But it's going to be interesting to see, one, do you know everything about the Mets, and do you have a friend that knows everything about the Mets? Can you get together and somehow form a team without?
So what you're saying is the people who maybe have the greatest Mets knowledge might not have a buddy who shares that same passion.
Or they've been shooting him down for years, telling him, you don't know Mets history. I know Mets history. And now this time he's got to take him as a partner.
But, you know, in this era of Facebook and Twitter and other social media, maybe those people are finding each other right now, trying to find a power tandem that can take us on.
I'm telling you, they're still going to choke with the live cameras. Doesn't matter. It's going to happen. Maybe they're doing it right now.
Just remember, no devices allowed on the set.
You want to do it? Yeah. It's May 16th? Yeah. 9 a.m.? No chance. Too early.
2-2 to Jones, and it's low and away. Full count to Adam Jones leading off in the 8th. Chris Davis on deck, then Manny Machado, 3, 4, and 5 in the Orioles batting order. The Orioles are done with this series tonight, but they are not going anywhere. They're staying in New York for the next 4 days to play the Yankees, while the Mets go down to Philadelphia for the weekend.
It's a really interesting road trip in a year that's been very difficult for them already, but to stay in one town for that long a period of time, one hotel, is a good thing for ball players.
Is it good?
Yeah, it is good.
Or could they get a little stagnant?
Well, I don't think stagnant is really the word. I think getting enough sleep is probably the issue.
You mean if it was a week in Pittsburgh, it would be easier?
This town's up all night, man.
It's claimed players before, that's for sure. 8th pitch of the at bat coming from Torres to Jones, and it's hammered foul.
Now, who's going to be doing the quizzing? Who's coming up with the questions?
Oh, you mean who's writing the questions, or who's the MC?
No. Who's writing the questions?
Oh, I assume the Elias Sports Bureau. They were consulting partners on the questions last year for the Battle of the Broadcast.
Well, both Howie and Josh have ridiculed me, saying that the questions were too easy last year. So now
sour grapes.
Yes, a lot of that.
Hit hard, but right at Murphy for the first out. Terrific at bat for Jones, but Torres gets the upper hand. Let's check in with the studio. Eamon McEnany has a game break brought to you by Ford. It's big for the Brewers to get Scooter Gennett back from the disabled list,
and to maybe take that series with both Kershaw and Greinke pitching in that series.
Greinke pitched great last night. That's drilled into right, a base hit for Chris Davis. So Davis, after striking out 3 straight times against DeGrom, gets a base hit against Torres. Well, this is an oddity, right? 2 different players on the same team leading the majors in home runs back to back. It's only happened 4 times in history. Chris Davis, of course, 53 home runs 2 years ago. Nelson Cruz, who's now in Seattle, he had 40 for the Orioles to lead the majors last year. Barry Bonds and Matt Williams, Mark McGwire, Jose Canseco, and Lou Gehrig and Joe DiMaggio back in the 30s. You would have figured Ruth and Gehrig,
but
right?
Ruth probably won every year.
Line to center, falling fast. Lagares comes in, makes the shoestring catch. Takes a base hit away from Machado for the second out.
Well, he just gets a great charge on the ball, and he also has the kind of body type that is able to stay down extremely low and make that play easily without leaving his feet. Davis thought it was a hit, and he had to scurry back to first.
Well, Carlos Torres living large, 3 line drives. He's got 2 outs. Jason Garcia up in the Orioles bullpen. Here's David Lowe, who's 0 for 3. Davis at first and 2 out, and Lowe takes a strike. Torres gets ahead 0-2. The other Torres, Alex the lefty.
There's a real art to getting ready if you're a reliever, because on those nights that you're not sure if you're going to be in the ball game, you've got to be lukewarm, not red hot, because you don't want to waste any pellets you might need, although they have a day off tomorrow. But you still don't want to overthrow if you can help it.
That's one thing that Jerry's Familia has learned in a very short period of time.
And Terry Collins was saying that a lot of the veteran pitchers that have been here, Jose Valverde and others, Bobby Parnell, have helped Familia with that.
Torres with a curveball strikes out low, and the inning is over. Some hard hit balls, but a 0 for Torres. Still 5-1 Mets. Herrera 3 for 3, a homer, 3 RBIs. Curtis Granderson, his second home run of the year, and that's been plenty. Jacob DeGrom went 7, allowed just 1 run. Carlos Torres a scoreless 8th, and now the Mets come up in the bottom of the 8th. They get the day off tomorrow and reconvene at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia on Friday with Matt Harvey on the mound against Cole Hamels. Our coverage begins at 6 o'clock Friday night right here on SNY.
Well, Jason Garcia in the game, you can see he's got that high ERA, high walks. That's been his problem in his young career, but he's got an A+ arm. Selected in the Rule 5 draft from Boston, Baltimore saw him pitch in a fall instructional game where he struck out 14 of the 18 hitters he faced. So they said, we'll take a chance on him.
Now, the Orioles started the year with 2 Rule 5 draft picks on their pitching staff, Garcia and Logan Verrett, who they drafted from the Mets. They didn't keep Verrett. They put him through waivers. He went to Texas, and Texas just gave him back to the Mets. In fact, Verrett is starting for Las Vegas. I think it's tonight. He had been working out of the bullpen for Texas, but the Mets are going to plug him right into a starting role, which is where he has always been. Here's Daniel Murphy, who's 0 for 3 tonight. He takes wide from Garcia, who was born in the Bronx but grew up in Florida.
With a 4-run lead, Familia sitting here in the 8th.
He had a save last night, his major league leading 11th of the season.
Wouldn't be an awful thing to get him a night off today and tomorrow and have him ready for Philadelphia.
Jason Garcia might have been in the big league sooner, but he had Tommy John surgery 2 years ago, and then he suffered 2 concussions last year, one in a car accident, and the other one, he was hiking with his dogs and they dragged him down a hill and he hit his head. That's bad luck. Or bad dogs. Paredes throws out Murphy one away.
Sit boo-boo at some point. That's one thing about baseball injuries, right? You hear all kinds of different ones. John Smoltz tells me the one about him is not true.
The one where he was ironing his shirt with the shirt on?
Yes. Says it's not true.
Okay.
I guess we'll believe him.
Well, he's a very honorable man.
It's a great story, though.
It is. It's fantastic. Fire him. I'd stick with it.
Well, there was Wade Boggs throwing his back out, taking off his cowboy boots.
That's right.
There was Clint Barmas falling down the stairs carrying a bag of deer meat.
Yeah, venison.
Yeah. Joe Beimel, right before the playoffs, cutting his hand on a glass in a bar.
Aaron Boone, basketball, right before the Yankees signed Alex Rodriguez.
Jim Lonborg skiing after his Cy Young season. And of course, Vince Coleman being eaten by the tarp. 1-1 to Flores. Saws him off right over the bag. That's just foul. Now Flores with a fisted shot that almost caught chalk.
Well, Davis, of course, playing way off the line, and you see the umpire on first base right on top of it. It's Alan Porter. One of the young umpires, and I think one of the young, real good, talented umpires.
One and two to Flores with Plawecki on deck. Slowly hit the other way and down to Tim Tuffle, who makes the grab.
I guess you should explain to people in St. Louis how you get devoured by a tarp. Is that they had a tarp that would cover the field, but it would come up hydraulically from underneath the AstroTurf, and Vince was either standing on it or near it when he was engulfed by it.
Flores went around strike three. So Garcia's retired the first two in the eighth.
Good slider here by Garcia.
So the Blue Jays beat the Yankees tonight 5-1, and there's nothing remarkable in that except that Mark Buehrle got the win for Toronto.
Yankees own him.
I mean, he never beats the Yankees. CC Sabathia 0-5 with the loss. Pitched really well the last time out, but didn't get a win. Plawecki went around in a half swing, so Garcia fooling the Mets with his slider. Wilson Herrera hoping for a chance to get his first career 4-hit game. And Plawecki lines one to center, but Adam Jones slices over to make the grab, and that retires the side. Mets are down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the eighth. On to the ninth we go. Mets looking for a sweep of this two-game series. All right, guys, and at Citi Field, we're going to the ninth. Chris Carlin will be along after the post game with Geico Sports Night. Rangers Caps Game 4. Deflategate. Does Brady get suspended?
I think he's going to be suspended for a couple games. Absolutely. Oh, sorry, Ronnie. He's referring to me being born in Massachusetts, of course. I've got to read this note on Torres. I usually don't read an Elias note, but it's just so great. Right-handed hitters were 1 for 18 against Torres this season. Since the start of 2013, he's held right-handers to a 169 batting average. The only ones better since that time, Andrew Miller and Aroldis Chapman.
Only lefties who have a better average against right. That's amazing.
It's amazing numbers.
You see that graphically displayed, and he'll get a right-hand hitter, Caleb Joseph, to lead off against him in the ninth inning. So in non-save situations, the Mets will try and save Familia, but they'll have him ready if they need him here in the ninth. Joseph's 0 for 3, grounded out, struck out twice, 0 for 7 in the series with 5 strikeouts. Baltimore 1 run, 7 hits. Mets 5 runs, 7 hits. We're now in the ninth. And Joseph fouls it back. Okay, since Chris Carlin brought it up, I understand that Deflategate might actually be a Massachusetts tradition.
Well, I mean, you've played in the backyard with a football, right? There's two things that happen when the ball doesn't have enough air in it. One, it's easier to grip, especially if you don't have big hands. And secondly, and I think this is one that's not talked about a lot, is that it's much easier to catch. You know, it's not that real hard ball that if it hits you in the wrong place, it's going to bounce out. It'll kind of cushion in there. But I know that when I played high school football and you played in extremely bad weather, especially bad rain, you would not be appalled if one of your coaches or one of the staff were to let a little bit of air out of the football, so it was a little easier to grip when it was raining.
So what year are we talking about here?
77, 76, in that time period.
So long before anybody in New England had ever heard of Tom Brady, this kind of shenanigans was going on.
And someone had told me about it that was probably 20 years my senior. So I don't know. I do think, though, that he's going to be suspended for a couple of games.
Joseph hits it hard. Nice! Knocked down by Murphy, but couldn't get the grip. And Joseph is aboard. Now, Murph kept it from going down the line. If it had stuck in the glove the first time, he might have had a chance to throw him out.
Yeah, tough play there. Good play by Murph just to keep it from going down the line. Playing so deep. If you don't catch this perfect and make a quick throw, you have no chance anyway.
So a leadoff hit for Joseph, the 8th of the game for the Orioles. Everett Cabrera will turn around about right-handed against Alex Torres. 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch. Now, if you're a switch hitter and you're facing a pitcher who has reverse splits like this, would you ever consider batting lefty on lefty?
Big time to take away his changeup.
Jerry's Familia waiting around. One more base runner, it would create a save opportunity for Familia, so he's staying ready.
As soon as I mention that great stat, Torres gives up a hit to the right-hand hitter. Always works out that way.
Of course.
My fault, Alex.
It's like calling a guy a great free throw shooter. Whoops. Back rim. No good. Torres, who had that remarkable outing day before yesterday, or Sunday, I should say, behind Dylan G. Came in bases loaded, nobody out, struck out 3 in a row.
Dylan went 5 innings in that game, right? Was that for the 51st time?
51st. It's a new Mets club record. He broke Dwight Gooden's record.
Good for him.
Steve Pearce out on deck to bat for Travis Snyder against the left-hander. So Buck is not buying the reverse splits. 3-0 coming. And Cabrera takes a fastball strike.
Remember, these Orioles and Buck, of course, know Torres from his days at Tampa Bay. And in those days, he had a hard time throwing strikes.
Well, he's got a 4-run lead, and he's got a light hitter at the plate. No reason not to throw strikes here. And Cabrera takes another fastball down the middle, 3-2. 3-2 to Everth Cabrera. Slowly hit. Herrera in. The backhand flip. They get the force. And that's the first out.
Well, that was a good play by Dilson. He made it more difficult, and I think in hindsight, one of the infield coaches, probably Tuffle, will tell him, hey, listen, if you have to backhand the ball that long with a 5-1 lead, just get the out at first base.
Well, also, he didn't have to backhand it because he didn't have a chance for a double play anyway.
That's right.
Well, it's not a save situation, but Familia is up, and with Steve Pearce announced into the game as a right-hand pinch hitter for Travis Snyder, it looks like Terry Collins is going to go to his closer in a non-save situation. So Familia coming in, Mets up 5-1 with 1 out in the ninth. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. Them on the web at searchmercedes.com. Jerry's Familia will come in to try and get the final 2 outs.
Well, not in for a save opportunity, but still, Terry Collins pulled the trigger maybe because of the off day tomorrow.
Steve Pearce batting for Travis Snyder. First appearance in the series for Pearce, who's been under the weather the last few days. Hitting just 183 for the year, and he takes a strike. With the Orioles missing their starting second baseman, Jonathan Scope, and their starting shortstop, J.J. Hardy, Pearce, for a couple of days, was a second baseman for the first time in his big league career. I guess it didn't agree with him. He had to come out of the game Sunday with an upset stomach, and it stayed with him for the last 3 days.
He fouled that one right off his toe. He had one of the more unusual years you'll ever see a player had. He made the opening day roster for Baltimore last year. As you see this ball go off his foot, he was DFA'd by him in late April. He re-signed with him, was called up later, ended up with over 20 doubles, over 20 home runs, almost drove in 50, and played a big part down the stretch when Chris Davis, of course, was suspended.
Right. And he's been getting a lot of playing time early in the year, but has not been able to duplicate that success. Who knows? Maybe it'll go the same way for him this year. Get DFA'd again and come back later and have a big finish. Familia, 12 pitches yesterday, earned his 11th save despite giving up a 9th inning home run to Chris Davis, who retired the next 3 hitters in short order to earn the save. Duda playing behind the runner Cabrera at first with a 4-run lead. 0-2 to Pierce. Struck him out on 3 pitches. Nasty slider gets Pierce for the second out.
Slider for a strike. Sinker fouled off your foot. Slider wipeout on the outside corner. I mean, doesn't get any nastier than that.
So the Orioles are down to their final out. Now Delman Young will pinch hit for the pitchers, sitting in the number 1 hole. Young played last night in right field, went 1 for 4. Struck out against Familia last night in the 9th inning. 2 out and a runner at first. And Young takes below the knees for ball 1. Mets have lost so many expected members of their bullpen this year, and that yet their bullpen has thrived. When the Mets lead after 6 innings, they're 15-0. When they lead after 7 innings, they're 14-0. When they lead after 8 innings, they're 16-0. So the starters have pitched well, and the bullpen has made it stand up, trying to get their 18th win against 10 losses. 2-0 to Delman Young. Toward the hole, Flores can't get on the backhand, so it's a base hit for Young, and that'll keep the Orioles alive. Second hit of the inning.
They've had 3 hits out of this leadoff spot by 3 different hitters. This ball just eluding Wilmer Flores.
So now 9 Baltimore hits, but still just the 1 run. And now Jimmy Paredes will try and get Adam Jones to the plate as the tying run. So this is a big batter here for Familia, trying to avoid that scenario. Paredes drove in the only run for Baltimore tonight. That was a base hit back in the 5th. Tommy Hunter getting ready in the Orioles bullpen in case there's a bottom of the 9th. That 5th inning was the watershed for Jacob DeGrom. He gave up a run and then worked out of a bases loaded jam by striking out Chris Davis after falling behind in the count. So here's Paredes, switch hitter, batting left, and he takes a fastball straight. Let's try to extend their winning streak against the Orioles. They've beaten them 7 straight times, and they haven't lost to them in New York since 2006. And now the Orioles are down to their final strike. Herrera at second, Young at first, 2 down. Oh, and 2 to Jimmy Paredes. He struck him out, and the ball game is over. Familia comes in and gets the final 2 outs, and the Mets sweep a 2-game series from the Baltimore Orioles. Big night for Dilson Herrera with 3 hits, a homer, and 3 RBIs. Jacob DeGrom, a good bounce-back effort, and the Mets beat the Orioles 5-1.
Well, it was one of those games I thought that DeGrom really needed a strong start, which he gave the Mets. Got 7 innings of work in. Granderson with a couple RBIs and a home run. You mentioned Herrera with his 3 hits and a home run. Even more importantly, Familia finished up in the Mets so far here at Citi Field, 13-3 now in this 2015 season.
They finished a 3-3 homestand, and other than the 11-game winning streak, this is the first time the Mets have won back-to-back games this season. Here you see the game summary. DeGrom 3-3, his ERA down to 2.95 after 6 starts. Breakout game for Dilson Herrera, who had been struggling since coming up. He had the big night with the home run. He drove in 3 and went 3 for 3. For every Mets win, the Mets Foundation is proud to contribute $2,500 to the Cats Women's Hospital and the Cats Institute for Women's Health. For more information, visit northshorelij.com/KIWH. This win brings the total contribution so far this season to $45,000. Mets win it 5-1. Let's go downstairs to Steve Gelb. Steve?
Thanks, Gary. Here with Curtis Granderson. Has a nice new hat on his head right now. Curtis, first at bat, got pretty close to the home run. Second at bat, though, you weren't going to miss that.
You know, you try to go ahead and put yourself in a situation where you can swing the bat and try to drive the baseball. But Ubaldo Jimenez, one of the great pitchers in the game, makes it very difficult to do that. Second time around, I was able to get myself in a good count and able to drive the ball out of the ballpark.
Last 2.5 weeks or so, the ball's really starting to fall for you. How confident were you that a stretch like this was coming early in the season?
There's a lot of baseball, a lot of at-bats, you know, over the course of the season. We just passed the beginning part of May, so much of baseball still have to be played. Just understanding that you're going to have a lot of at-bats, you're going to have some that go your way and some that don't.
How about your starting pitchers? Last 5 starts, 4 runs given up. As an offense, when you've got guys like that on the hill, are you thinking we just need to get a couple across?
It's great. You know, those guys have been piggybacking off of each other. Bartolo threw the ball exceptionally well yesterday. Then DeGrom come out today and also helped himself out getting a hit out there in his, I think, second or third at bat. So the pitching staff's been doing an amazing job. And then when they do turn it over to the bullpen, they come in and go ahead and keep everything right where they need to.
Thanks a lot, Curtis. Congrats.
No problem. Thank you.
Gary?
All right, thanks, Steve, and thanks, Curtis. Mets defeat the Orioles 5-1. Granderson drives in a couple, including his second home run of the season. Mets sweep the Orioles. More coming up from Citi Field in just a moment.